What's up, everybody? It is Zach, the Dark Conservatarian, or just coming as just Zach right now. And as you can see, I am not streaming via OBS because my green screen. Take a look at that. The green screen still works, but turn that off for right now to show you guys what I'm meaning. None. Yeah, because as you can see, the Velcro didn't want to stick on the wall, so I'm probably gonna have to get fresh new Velcro and stick it up there and let the Velcro sticky resin actually stick on the wall and dry up for a little bit before I go attaching the green screen to the Velcro end. But yes, anyways, so allow me to quickly shill the browser link to my Discord server. Everyone live now. There we go. All right, so you guys might be wondering right now, Zach, didn't you already hit 700 subscribers about a month ago? And well, dear viewer, you'd be right. But here's the thing as to why that I did not really celebrate it, or at all, actually. Did not do a sort of a milestone live stream. Let me show right here. Share screen. There we go. So, as you can possibly see here, I was hovering just below 700 for the most part in late of last year. And then just on New Year's weekend, actually, overnight, between New Year's Day and then the day directly after New Year's Day, I had gained 20 subscribers instantly. Went from 693 to 713. You might not be able to see it so clearly because numbers and whatnot and letters are so small for you. I only pulled up Cat Chat as just a arbitrary, comparison, so to actually pull up this graph because it's weird. Social Blade, they do not show these kinds of graphs when you want to do just single channel graphs, or at least I'm not able to as easily see them. But yeah, I had gained 20 subscribers literally overnight that pushed me over the edge to hit that 700 subscriber milestone and actually surpass it. And I do not know where those 20 subscribers came from. I was thinking at first that they might have been bots, that I was being sub-botted or something, and that maybe it was I thought that maybe it was just a glitch in YouTube and that I was going to most likely almost instantly lose those subscribers and YouTube would have fixed it or something. But no, I guess not, because my subscriber count hasn't went down tremendously ever since hitting the 700 mark. But now I'm sitting at 721. That is well past the actual amount right there, or the amount talked about. Okay, it's far past the amount that I'd gained overnight that night. I don't even know who promoted my channel. I did not do a promotion with my 2 cents in a while for the longest time in late last year, and even for a good portion of the beginning of this year. But just suddenly, I somehow, surprisingly enough, gained 20 subscribers just out of thin air. So it was very weird. And hello, Myth Cuttlefish in the chat, and thanks for the congratulations. So to make an introduction sort of long, I guess, to anybody who might be tuning in right now, I only got 2 viewers right now, and I think one of those viewers might be myself looking at my own browser. But for anybody who goes tuning in, ask me any questions. Ask me anything that you're curious about. If it gets a little bit too personal and private, the questions I might refrain from answering them. But ask me anything, personal life related stuff, channel stuff, what you think the direction. Black the Mighty says nope. Okay. Or just watch me ramble on and whatnot. But if any of you have any curiosities as to the direction of this channel goes, have any questions about that, or you have any suggestions on how you do want the direction of the channel to go, how I handle content creation here and going forward, then go ahead, by all means. Ask away in the live chat. So, all right, just to put that little thing right there. How is Kansas for you, dudes? Asks Bellic the Mighty. It's all right. I mean, you guys might not have heard me talk about it. I don't know of how many people actually saw my last live stream and saw my appearance on Aircraft Sparky's channel. But on both those live streams, I talked about as to how that, or it might have been 2 episodes of Strike Force ago. I can't remember. But very recently, I got talking about as to how that, God, what am I trying to say? That here in Kansas, the House legislature, or the state legislature, anyways, gone passing the Value Them Both Amendment, basically an anti-abortion amendment to the Kansas Constitution to sort of open the gate a little bit more to the restricting and maybe eventual banning of most to all abortions in this state. So that's pretty good. As far as general questions like weather and whatnot, it's pretty dry. I'm going to say. It's sporadic, and it's how cold or warm it gets throughout the day, especially for winter. And it's been like that for the last few years, though, honestly. Okay. Myth Cuttlefish says, we know you're busy. Why don't you move to alt tech? Alt tech, you mean like BitChute and other stuff like that? I do have a BitChute account. I should probably link that in the description below, actually, now that I think about it. But aside from BitChute, I don't really have any big time alternatives. I mean, I guess unless you consider Discord an alternative, but even then, Discord has been recently kind of sketchy on what they'll allow as far as speech goes and whatnot. Excuse me. They're just slowly but steadily starting to become a little bit more like an error occurred. Wait a moment, then try again. Oh God! Ain't gonna save it, is it? Whatever. Fine, whatever. But no, actually, never mind. I did not have my BitChute account listed right there. A while since I checked my BitChute account, now that I think about it. But I never had a Parler. I have myself a Gab, but I don't hardly. Actually, I don't ever check by there, honestly. Young Turks call for protesters they disagree with to be arrested or attacked by the hard bastard. I guess that's where that hard bastard is uploading his response videos to nowadays. Neat. Maybe I'll actually have to check by there sometime. His BitChute channel, I mean. Because honestly, I've been kind of slowly getting out of the out of the loop of watching hard bastards content in general. So here is my BitChute channel if anybody cares about it. If anybody cares to check it out. Here we go. You're back. What do you mean by that, Myth Cuttlefish? I'm a bit confused. So get into a little bit more of a serious question. Why are you the only okay. Why are you the only minarchist I know who is against the Internet Bill of Rights? I don't know. It's odd. I wouldn't even consider people like Styx, Hex, and Hammer to be a minarchist, for example, because he does support the idea of an Internet Bill of Rights. Not even just that, but Styx, he also believes in the idea of internet should be a public utility. And by the way, where I heard that soundbite was actually from an Esoteric the Free video. which I almost feel kind of dirty about, but nonetheless, it's neither here nor there. Some of y'all might know that I'm not too fond of SO, but that's irrelevant for right now. How are all my different videos going, by the way, I wonder? Right. Playing for keeps, Mike Knowles. Mikey boy. Just checking some of the stats on my videos and whatnot. Some of my most popular videos on my BitChute channel. It's funny that the my coverage of the Floyd riots that I uploaded on BitChute it has 184 views and 1 like and 1 dislike. For one thing, I think it's kind of weird as to how that on BitChute a lot of people will view your stuff, but hardly anybody who watches it will give it a rating. It's that's one thing that I'm not too fond about BitChute. Also, on top of that, their search bar, their search engine for their website is rather inaccurate. Well, I do not know if inaccurate is the right word, but it's not very precise as far as what precisely you want to search for one thing. I don't even think that there's actually, are there filters? There might be some filters, but they're not as efficient as YouTube's filters, in my opinion. What was I going to say? Yeah, both of those things is kind of odd about BitChute. And what's odd about my video, the Floyd riots video that I'll show right here, you would think that would have a little bit higher of a rating because I was being like hardcore against the riots, and BitChute is a generally right-wing, or at least the general presence there for the average viewer and channel on BitChute are hardcore right-wingers. You would have thought that this video would have done a little bit better in the ratings. Funny, I wonder who disliked that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So, questions here. And a Bill of Rights can't happen. I can. What's ICANN? I'd never heard of that, Myth Cuttlefish. I can was sold to the globalists by Obama, Mr. Merchant. That's what. Okay. I don't know if that was a question or comment to me or something like that. But anyway, I'm was watching a reaction video for a little bit there. Is somebody watching Lord of the Rings for the very first time? Actually, let me see if I would be able to search for my video, for example. If I search it up. Oh, it has a whole bunch of other shit ton of other results pop up when I search up the Floyd riots on BitChute. Excuse me. Search videos. Oh, is it me or has a BitChute like updated their freaking search it's like they updated their search capabilities on here. Oh, yeah. But I'm uploading now. Hey guys, back again with another unscripted utterances. I created this video a while ago, but I simply forgot to upload it, but I'm uploading it now. Do you guys remember the George Floyd incident? How about the controversy surrounding the riots? Well, I had my own opinions on that, and though the riots are over, and so the dust has settled, I just couldn't help but bring it back up. Enjoy my monsters. So yeah, remember when George Floyd and the riots was a thing? Remember the controversy surrounding said riots? Yeah, I had my own opinions on that. Blah 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 blah. Is this like a lefty right here? Riots are necessary. Cheeky the First. Sorry I'm late. Did I miss anything? No, you did not, JC Armitage. And as you can see on the banner right there that I have showing up for the stream right now, it says "Ask me anything." Myth Cowfish asks, "Do you have the coof?" No, I do not have the coof. I thought I did. I almost thought I did like last December, but ultimately I tested negative. I had just a mild cold. What do you think about Steven Crowder suing Facebook? I mean, I don't know the details of Steven Crowder suing Facebook, but I would say that if Facebook is basically
hello, this is Cheeky's the First, your cheeky little.
But if Steven Crowder is like suing them for lying against their users, for lying to their users on their terms of service and whatnot, well then I'd say that Steven Crowder may have legitimacy to sue them. Ultimately, I do believe that privately owned companies can do whatever they want with their privately owned websites, aka Facebook and whatnot, kick off whoever they want as a libertarian on that front. But ultimately, if a Facebook is lying, then more power to Steven Crowder if he sues them for that. If riots are necessary, why are people complaining about the Capitol Hill riot? Asks Metal Minister. Pretty much might have a little bit more to do with Metal Minister double standards, says Mick Coalfish. Mr. Merchant says, BitChute and its long-ass video processing. Right. No comments.
Monsters returning this very day with another, what I am now calling, unscripted utterances. I also got this brand new little light here. So you guys.
I had that pause for a while. I did not just pause it right there, but I had it paused for quite a few seconds ago. And you're telling me that it could not buffer out more of the video than just that amount? BitChute, get your stuff together. Holy crap. Oh, God. Okay, maybe this is the biggest reason as to why that BitChute isn't doing as good as it could be against competitors like YouTube, etc. Because of the crappy video processing. I don't know. Will it play anything at all? Never mind. I was just curious about that, but no. It doesn't want to work with me. Ah, there's my video right there, as it goes popping up right there. The Floyd riots, strike force number 162. Now, of course, you guys might know that the Floyd riots video did a whole lot better on YouTube than on BitChute. But yeah. Y'all need to check out my author's channel. LOL. I'm shilling on Dark Con's AMA. It's all right, Metal Minister. JC Armitage says, speaking of the insurrection, did you hear about how AOC lied about where she was when that event happened? I did hear about that. Some of the most pathetic shit I ever heard. What's more pathetic is of how much that she would lie about Ted Cruz. Metal Minister says, YouTube is censoring chats that mention bit and shoot. Oh. Jumping back and forth between the StreamYard browser and the YouTube browser because StreamYard doesn't want to show all chat comments, especially the ones that go especially the chat comments that go that I have to approve of. Mr. Merchant says, "Oh shit, Darkon, it is a black woman. Check to make sure she is not a leftist like most black women before asking her out." Oh, brother. She did not look that attractive anyways. Like, no offense, just did not look that attractive to me anyways, Mr. Merchant. Oh, God. Oh, Metal Mister. Details are hidden while you share your screen. Okay, Metal Minister says, "Yeah, but I'm not surprised you lied through those donkey teeth." It says, yeah, talking about AOC. Myth Cuttlefish says, "What's even more pathetic are the people who believed her." Yep. I guess it shouldn't be too surprising that a politician would lie, you know. But what's more pathetic and saddening, really, is when that people believe the most blatant of lies, you know. I guess this is Metal Minister's author channel that he just shilled. Floor 13, Nexus of the Infinite, Literary AMA, Introduction Video, Damien, read by the author. Okay. Maybe I'll check out some more of this, Minister. Myth Girlfish says, AOC is marketable as fuck. You have to admit. And that makes her dangerous. I guess so. Absolute Degenerate says, bitch shoot, but with a 1 replacing the I and E, the 3 replacing the E. Metal Minister says, those are all me reading my short stories. LOL. Okay. You know, maybe I ought to like, well, no, I was about to say maybe I ought to do something like that with my own projects, but I don't think that'd be really necessary. I'm just reading something right here from one of the Twitter group chats. Oh, jeez. People being utterly dismissive over that bull crap. Mythcofer says, damn, Minister, come on, man. Decon, what's your favorite food? Asks Mythcofish. If I had to go off of the fly as far as my most favorite food go, it'd probably be like a well-spiced, well-salted beef chili with the jalapenos and onions cooked with the beef and then added into the red beans, and the rotel tomatoes are all pureed sort of so that they can like cook a little bit better into the entirety of the chili, and cumin, lots of cumin. Where that's probably the closest thing that I can think of off the top of my head for right now. Cat Chat asks, what do you think of Americans leaving high taxation areas like New York and California? Well, personally, I think that the people who actually voted for that stuff should suck up what they actually, sowed. Should reap what they sowed, Okay, just curious about that. Where to start? The Absolute Degenerate. Who molests more children? Persona fans or Discord mods? I don't even know what Persona is, what Persona fans are. I don't know. I'm not going to say either way because I am anyway. Metal Minister says, you degenerate, that's spicy. Ivan's son asked what state you live in. I live in Kansas, as said earlier in the stream. Myth Cuttlefish says, yes. I take it you're saying yes, Myth Cuttlefish, to the fact that I say I like beef chili. Mr. Merchant asks, is there going to be a second debate on monarchy versus anarcho-capitalism? Maybe. I don't know. Might sometime soon. You know, I should probably pull these chat comments up as I read them. Degenerate trying to get DC booted from YouTube. What do you think of Texas possibly defunding Planned Parenthood? I full on support it. Support it all the way. Persona is a game series. Cringy weebs play it. Ugh. Okay. Well, if you're talking about like anime-related people and versus Discord, that might be a bit of a hard comparison. How about this, degenerate? Persona fans who are Discord mods. Those are the most pedo-ish, let's say. Let's make a compromise and combine the two, you know? Persona is a series of JRPGs, by the way, says JC Armitage. All right. Yes, Myth Goldfish says again. Myth Goldfish really likes the beef chili. Absolute Degenerate. Oh god, I cannot show his chat comment because it had to be approved by, I'm guessing, either Metal Minister or Cat Chat, as those are the two moderators that I have in the chat right now. Absolute Degenerate. Fuck Planned Parenthood. All my homies hate Planned Parenthood. Well, I'd like to get introduced to some of your homies. Myth Kofish asks, what's your favorite childhood story to tell people? You know, that question has never come up with people. I've never got around the campfire with a whole bunch of friends and we gone asking each other, what's your favorite childhood story? Tell us it right now. What's your childhood story to tell us? And so on and so forth. That's a tough one, Merchant. Or it's Myth Merchant. Myth Cuttlefish. That's a real tough one. But I said, I think if there was one that I had to tell, if somebody was asking me to tell a childhood story, it'd probably be the one time that I danced to Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody at a robotics competition day. How about that? Absolute Degenerate says, oh god, that sounds horrible. Indeed, that's why I combined the two. Be careful, this particular mod is a weeb, says Melmister. Hey, I have no personal problem with the weebs. I don't even think it's safe to generalize. Oh god, I'm having flashbacks to some past drama with someone else about this, thinking about this. But I don't go generalizing anime people as lustful for children in any sorts of way. Robotics competition day, did you say? Yes, I did, JC. When Myth Cuttlefish is not the best MILF. Says Mr. Merchant. Well, do we have any more MILFs in the live chat right now? I'm kind of doubtful. I mean, Cat Chat is the only, Cat Chat and I would guess JC Armitage are the only two other females in the live chat, and I don't think either of them are mothers. Overwatch or Paladins, says Bellic the Mighty. I never even played Paladins, so I would probably have to say Overwatch by default just because of that. I'm the autistic one, literally, says Cat Chat. Well, you said it, not us. I mean, for all I know, I could be an undiagnosed autist myself. But I gotta ask, Mr. Merchant, if Myth Cuttlefish is not the best MILF, then who is the best MILF? I let it through, says Mister. Okay. Keep that lolly shit out of here. Lolly lovers get the wood chipper. And Bellic the Mighty says, agreed, and I have to concur as well, Minister. DC, your camera keeps losing focus. Yeah, I know. I probably need to get something other than a freaking Logitech webcam, but that's the brand of webcam that I'm using right now is Logitech. All right, so I don't know. I guess I might. I think JC is a dude, though. Yay, new DarkCon memory. Okay. I don't know. I guess we'll never know for certain if JC is a dude or a chick. Myth Cuttlefish says, "What was your favorite childhood pastime?" Playing with Legos, hands down. Playing with Legos, building cities, armies, starships, and entire galactic empires with Legos. That was my shit back then, back in the day. Oh wow, we got 15 people watching. Holy shit. Hello everybody. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing on this fine Friday night? Favorite sport? Asks Myth Cuttlefish. If you're asking what is my favorite sport to play, it'd probably be soccer. But right now, I say that I'm liking football. Actually, speaking of football, let me put this shit on. Chiefs Kingdom, baby. Hema is the best sports sort of fighting baby. All right then, Billick. I do not know who that is. But okay. Derpy Redneck says fucking fantastic. But yeah, the Chiefs fan, everybody. That's what I am. Looking forward to Patrick Mahomes spanking Tom Brady. Not literally, but you get the drift. Novatron says 700 subs. Poggers. Awesome. Yeah, indeed. Football for the win says absolute degenerate. Yeah, I'd say that that's my favorite sport to watch. But when it comes sports to play, I think soccer would be overall my favorite. Although there is one time fairly recently that I was preferring a game of touch football over soccer. And for any of y'all who say that touch football is for pussies as opposed to tackle football, well, you might not be wrong, but all the same, I don't exactly got the build for tackle football. Nor did we have the safety equipment for that shit. What was your favorite childhood? Oh, wait, I already answered that one by Myth Cuttlefish. JC Armitage asks, ever 3D printed anything? Simply no. 15 watchers equals 15 likes, or we riot, says Metal Minister. Just like all of KC is going to riot if these guys don't win. I'm joking. Metal Minister says, "Damn, DC is a bandwagoner." You're not wrong, Minister. You're not wrong. I mean, I bought this literally just last year of when the Chiefs were like really catching on in popularity, and when they actually won the Super Bowl. But I'm really looking forward to this upcoming Super Bowl because it's going to be the first Super Bowl of when that dynastic quarterback and also professional douchebag Tom Brady goes fighting against America's nice guy Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, in the actual Super Bowl. Like, them two have played against each other before, like outside of the actual Super Bowl day, but this is going to be the time of when they're actually playing on Super Bowl day. America's favorite quarterback versus America's least favorite quarterback. Myth Cuttlefish, why are you asking this? What's your preferred poison? What the fuck? Are you meaning literal, or what are you meaning in that question, Myth Cuttlefish, when you ask what's your preferred poison? Derpy Redneck asks, have you ever tried egg drop soup? I have, with the little seashell noodles inside. Yeah, it's at least edible. Don't know if I'd go out of my way for it, though. Just curious. I got some venison bones I'm going to cook down into stock and make it with that and some eggs. Actually, I would go out of my way for that, just to try that shit out. Venison made egg drop soup. Sounds freaking awesome. I saw my browser freeze up for a split second there. Is my connection coming in smoothly, everybody? Tell me that. Mr. Merchant says, ew, come on, Darkon. I did not need to think that. Novatron says boxing is his favorite sport. All right. A middle minister says, I'm clipping that. DC likes Mahomes. Brady porn confirmed. Oh, jeez. Minister, I'm not coming to one of your sermons ever again. No, that's probably going to. If you make that clip, Minister, if you make that clip, I'm going to probably include it in the best of 2021 compilation. Which, speaking of which, I need to get more onto making the best of 2020 compilation. Metal Ministers. Wait, no, I already read that one. Jason Armitage says HEMA stands for Historical European Martial Arts, by the way. And yes, I'd have to concur. Sword fighting is the best sport. All right. Ivan Sun asks DCU or MCU? Since all I've ever seen pretty much was just the movies as far as DCU versus MCU goes, I'd have to choose MCU. And I pretty much preferred the MCU even before the Disney MCU came out. Even before Disney had bought Marvel and all that stuff, I still preferred Marvel over DC. Mostly, I guess, just because I thought that Iron Man was cool, and so was Hulk, and all the more, I guess, more slightly grounded superheroes compared to DC. And plus, X-Men was pretty cool as well. I liked Wolverine, Iron Man, and Hulk better than I liked Superman, Batman, and Flash. Long and short of it. Derpy Redneck says, I've not been into sports beyond racing. I'm more of a cars, trucks, aircraft, and titties and asses rubbing soap on a car hood kind of guy. That's awesome. Metal Minister said a little bit earlier, video froze a bit, but the audio is fine. All right, that's good to hear, Metal Minister. Like I've said consistently on these live streams, as long as the audio is coming in smoothly, that's the best part. That's the only thing that really matters. Unless I'm doing a gaming stream, then we might have a little bit of a different. It might be a little bit of a different story right there. Working on down the line. I adored basketball and football as a kid, though, says Derpy Redneck as well. Oh, God. I hate it of when that I, like, scroll down in the live chat here on YouTube, that it takes me all the way down to the bare bottom when I'm just wanting to scroll down only a little bit down the way so I can, like, get caught up on the chat a little bit more. Myth Cuttlefish asked, what is your favorite OG anime series? Honestly, I haven't seen a whole lot of anime series. I'm generally not a big fan of anime because the characters get overly obnoxious and annoying. But if I had to choose, I'd probably say Berserk. I'd probably say Berserk. Although I will say that Castlevania, I think it's Castlevania. That's the anime series on Netflix, unfortunately. I would be watching that series possibly, if it not for the whole cuties controversy, but hey, it's not a perfect world. Castlevania, though, from what little clips I've seen of it while my sister watched it and whatnot, is pretty good. The acting is spot on. It's a pretty well-grounded story with well-grounded characters and whatnot. And yeah, just from what I saw, it was pretty good. And I would have actually got into watching it if I was more caught up into all the series that I am currently watching and finished with all of them and whatnot. and if the cuties controversy did not happen. But unfortunately, yeah. The Absolute Degenerate also says, I haven't generally cared about the NFL since the Jags blew it against the Pats in 2017. God, I miss Jacksonville. All right. Myth Goldfish says, drinks. All right. How's this for drinks, Myth Cuttlefish? Some people say pretty much that Corona is piss water, but I don't hate it. Though I will say that I do like Modelo Negra a lot better than Corona. But unfortunately, I don't have Modelo right now, and I was just wanting to finish off the last Corona that I had in the fridge before I got any more from my Blue Moon. And Miller Lite is not refrigerated yet. JC Armitage asks, preferred poison, what the fuck? And Mifkov is drinks, you rube. Oh. Yeah, so, sorry. Oh, she meant alcohol. I see, says JC. And Absolute Degenerate says, yeah. Mifkov says, you're good. My bad. Preferred drinks, Blue Moon, Red Stripe, Modelo Negra, and I really like Marathon 64. That's a type of wheat beer that I've had only once, maybe twice in my entire life. And when I did have it, it was pretty freaking good. It's a bit better than Blue Moon. But unfortunately, it's very limited, a limited time offer sort of thing, I guess. Not a whole lot of restaurants keep it consistently in stock. Oktoberfest is pretty good, actually, I will say. But those are probably like my top favorites as far as beers go. I do enjoy an occasional like original plain Smirnoff Ice, the lemon lime flavor. Any other flavor outside of that is just a little bit over the top, in my opinion. Like I don't really care that much for green apple Smirnoff. Let me think. I'm not too fond of very hoppy and bitter sort of tasting beers. I'm more of a wheat beer kind of guy personally. Although it's kind of ironic because I think this is pretty much a hoppy beer right here. Corona is anyways. Oh. Well, speaking of Modelo, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Yeah. Cerveceria, Modelo, Mexico. I don't know if it's made by the same company that's made Modelo or not, but yeah, apparently that's a thing. All right. Let me get a little bit caught up in the freaking. Let me get caught up a little bit in the chat here. It is fine so far. Yeah, you sound fine. Yes, you. All right, fam. Video froze a bit, but the audio is fine. And Cat Chat says, sad you missed her punchline to the poison question. Oops. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a buzzkill like that sometimes. Absolute Degenerate says, DC searches up Rule 34 of Patrick Mahomes. Metal Minister says, gotta bounce, man, but congrats. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Metal Minister. Thank you very much. Myth Goldfish says, bye, Minister. She also says, does your sibling enjoy hanging out with you? I don't feel so comfortable of answering that, Cuttlefish. Sorry. Well, actually, I have multiple siblings, so I would have to say that I have siblings that enjoy hanging out with me, but I do not know which sibling that you're. Actually, I have a rough idea of who I think you might be referring to as far as sibling goes, and I'm not going to answer that at all. With all due respect, Cuttlefish. Minister says, pop back in to say, y'all need to watch the Overlord anime series. Peace. All right. Myth Cuttlefish says, Vegeta intensifies. Hey, how you doing, Night Shift? And favorite anime series here, Robotech Macross, the original series, and yes, I'm that old. JC Armitage says, yeah, the Castlevania anime first aired on Netflix, I believe. Night Shift says, the beer virus, indeed. Mythical Fish says, I drink whiskey. Hardcore there, man. Hardcore there. Oh, excuse me. Cat Chat says, I can't drink alcohol because of my liver. Aw. That's sad. You sure that you can't even drink something that's very low in the alcohol content, Cat Chat? Just out of curiosity. Like, you can't even drink something that's like, I don't know, 3% proof as far as alcohol goes. Mythical Fish says, at Cat Chat, here's for you, with a little beer mug, or actually it might be a Scotch glass. Anyway, Jason Armitage says, I didn't get Myth's question at first simply because I really don't drink very much. Nightshift 10,000 says, Darkon's definitely not British. He doesn't want a pint of the bitter. Yep. Full red-blooded American right here. America! Fuck yeah! Mythical Fish says, at JC Armitage, I drink to enjoy, not in the South Beach fashion. Jesse Armitage says, yeah, Corona and Modelo are made by the same company, hence why some people were calling CCP virus the Modelo virus. Ah, I gotcha. Hello, Philosophossum in the chat. I like Corona beer. It has that nice tropical flavor. Yeah, I just find Modelo to have a little bit more of a full flavor than Corona personally, but that's just me. Mythical Fish asks, have you ever skydived? No, I haven't. I'd probably be like scared to death to do it, honestly. Cat Chat says, I miss my babies from Broken Hill nieces. Nightshift 10,000 says, I like Guinness beer. It's the only one I like aside from Heineken. Cat Chat says, I don't want to risk it with fatty liver disease. Aw. Got that shit figured out. Hey, everybody, let's start a GoFundMe for Cat Chat. Cat Chat, go start a GoFundMe and link it in the live chat over there. And let's all donate to the curing of Cat Chat's liver so that she can actually enjoy a sip of alcohol for once in her life. JC Armitage says, outside of your live streams, have you ever wore sunglasses indoors before? Plenty of times, yes. Mythical Fish asks, are you planning on traveling and where? I actually plan on... I don't plan on traveling like anywhere very far, but I just plan on going to Kansas City here in a couple weekends. Like this weekend, I'm not going to have any Sunday live stream because at all, because of the fact that Super Bowl, of course, is happening. And next weekend, I'm not going to have any live stream on Friday or Sunday because I'm going to be taking that entire weekend going up to Topeka and then Kansas City to visit some family. That's the near future plans I have as far as traveling goes. I plan on possibly traveling down south so that I can like meet up JJ Skinner and possibly Reckless Trucker in person. But that's a little bit more far-fetched than what I'm thinking for right now. Not just 10,000 says, I think my liver is invincible. I'd have died of liver disease long ago. Wild life, eh, Night Shift? Being 37 years old. Cat Chat says, I think only a fixed diet can fix that over time, but I do have a Patreon. Mythical Fish asks, what's your dream vacation? You know, I never thought about that dream vacation as far as dream vacation goes. I'd probably go to Switzerland and is it Vienna? Whatever the city is in Italy of where that all instead of cars there are like rivers or canals rather instead of roads, and instead of cars you have boats. I think it's Vienna anyways. Well, the view count has kind of dropped a little bit right now. Oh, Venice says Myth Cuttlefish. Ah, gotcha. Thank you. Catch says mine is 2 week to a month in America, where I visit my internet friends and places I want to see. Awesome, Cat Chat. I would not mind that at all. The closest you'll get to American Venice is in Florida, says Myth Cuttlefish. You know, visiting by Florida wouldn't be a bad idea, actually. The amount of people watching has kind of dropped right now, which is probably why I should have mentioned it a little bit earlier, just out of, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if it was that important to say live on air. But yeah, if anybody in the live chat right now, actually, because I know that a good portion of you are in my Discord server. If any of you are wanting to join this hangout to just sort of chill, then by all means, go ahead and click on the StreamYard link that is there in the Shill channel. And yeah, we'll just sort of chat a little bit. But for right now, I think I might just go ahead and maybe play some video games. Yeah. Depends on how well that the footage comes through. Is anyone else interested in asking questions? Asks Myth Cuttlefish. Actually, what would actually, let me set this as a banner. Create a new banner. Nope, I did not mean to do that. Wait. No, I'm not going to write over that one. I'm going to write over this one. What would you like to see happen? All right. As you guys can see right here, the new banner that I got going right now. That's if you guys have run out of questions for me, well then here's my question to you. What would you like to see happen to the YouTube channel going forward? As far as improvements go or personal preferences and whatnot. Gaming channels, asks Myth Cuttlefish. Actually, funny that you mentioned that, Myth Cuttlefish, because I already have a gaming channel. It's DarkCon Entertainment. Let me go ahead and see if I can link that. No, I did not mean to do that. There's the gaming channel right there, Miffed. Although it's not just a gaming channel. DarkCon Entertainment is also for movie reviews and other stuff like that. I really need to change my computer wallpaper sometime. I have like a sort of depressed message right here that says signs of high functioning anxiety. I need to like replace it with something else. But yeah, seriously, if any of you have any question or excuse me, suggestions to me as far as YouTube goes, Mitch Kofish says, "Got it. It was hard to find you." All right. Cat Chat asks, if you could get any breed of pupper or kitty for free up to 4, what would you get? Honestly, don't know, Cat Chat. Mr. Merchant says more responses or original, well thought out videos on possessions. So, Mr. Merchant, you think that you would like to see more edited response videos or edited videos in general? Oh, gosh, dang it. Overwatch needs to update. Fuck. Oh, well. I'll put up with it for right now. I probably should have, oh, wait. It's a very small update, it looks like. It's almost done. JC Armitage agrees with Mr. Merchant, it looks like. Myth Cuttlefish asks, what's your favorite sci-fi movie? So far, I would probably have to say Star Wars. which is a little bit overly stereotypical, I know, but all the same, I think that's what I'm going to say for right now. I guess another close contender would be Aliens, you know, the sequel, the one with all the Marines and whatnot. That's another good one. If we wanted to expand this to sci-fi series, then I'd probably say Battlestar Galactica would probably be my all-time favorite sci-fi franchise in general, because as much fun as Star Wars is, Battlestar Galactica is the most well-grounded as far as character development goes, and action for that matter, and story arc. The only thing that I would say that I wish I saw more of out of Battlestar Galactica is if there was like a wider variety of aliens. Although, then again, the older series made in the 60s or 70s or whatever it was, it did show more alien species. But I would have liked, when I say that I like the Battlestar Galactica series, I'm saying that I like the modern one, you know, with Edward James Olmos and Katie Sackhoff in it, etc. Let me go ahead and show this. What was I about to say? Yeah, when I say that I like Battlestar Galactica, I'm saying that I like the newer series, not any of the older ones or whatever. But the one and only thing that I wish that I saw more of out of Battlestar Galactica was a wider variety of aliens, etc. But even aside of that, it's still a pretty good franchise nonetheless. No one in the chat says, just tune in and congrats on having over 700 subs. Thanks, no one. That's literally the name of the YouTube channel, or YouTube viewer rather, that just tuned in right now. Cat Chat asks, I know you're probably sick of this, but the Tim Horn response, yeah, says Mr. Merchant, right, yeah, I know. Everybody wants to see the Tim Horn response video. I am progressing on it. Just, I haven't gotten back to that response video, making the script for it and whatnot, in a little bit now, actually. Mostly because there's like another response video that I'm doing as a collab with Metal Doomer. Metal Doomer has yet to send me his response footage and whatnot, or his response audio, rather. But as soon as he sends his response audio, I'll get that released. But until he gets me that sent, I think I'm going to get back to working on the Tim Horn response video. And also, in parallel with it, the response video to Kyle Kalinske as far as the expensive single-payer healthcare goes. And hello, sent one in 1,000 in the chat. Aliens is amazing, says JC Armitage. Indeed. JC also asks, ever seen Blade Runner? No, I have not, unfortunately. I probably should check it out sometime. Excuse me. It was Stargate and Star Trek for me, says Mythical Fish. Yeah, actually, now that you remind me, I do not know if I can like safely say that Battlestar Galactica is my most favorite of sci-fi franchises, because, well, okay, I don't know if I'd say that I like the franchise as a whole, but I definitely do like Stargate Atlantis. Stargate SG-1 ended up being very anticlimactic, and Stargate Universe is so freaking short, and I hear that it's ever so obnoxiously liberal and left in its politics, to where that I don't find it worth going out of my way of. Stargate Universe, I mean. Mr. Merchant asks, why are you a conservatarian and not either a conservative or libertarian? The reason why I call myself a conservatarian is because I'm heavily conservative when it comes to the issue of abortion. But a whole lot of the other issues I'm more libertarian on, to where that I cannot safely call myself a conservative. Like if I say I'm conservative and somebody asks, so you're for preserving traditional marriage, and I say, no, not particularly. I don't really prioritize that. And somebody would also ask, so you're for banning drugs? No, I'm definitely against a drug war. And as soon as I tell that to people, they'd be all like, you're not a real conservative. You're a cuck-servative is what you are. And whatnot. I just found out the Creation Museum is a zip line. I so want to ride that, says Catchet, right? You're talking about Ken Ham's Creation Museum, right?
Welcome to reality.
Set 1000 says, would sci-fi movies include horror movies like Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street? No, I would not count them. Personally, ever seen Firefly? You know what? I have seen Firefly, Mythical Fish. They have that on Hulu. I should probably like. Dang, I've been like idle for too long on this game. I probably should check out Firefly, like give it a rewatch because it's on Hulu. I'm able to give it a good old rewatch. Oh shit! Oh shit! No! Oh damn it! Ah, fuck me. We're getting off to a bad start already, folks.
Team up for special attack. No time for my sight.
In the iris. Let them up.
Okay. Whatever. I served as a bit of a distraction. Did you like the Mandalorian series? Asks no one. Yeah, I like the Mandalorian series a bunch, actually.
There is still more to my tale.
You know what? Which is kind of the thing that frustrates me about Mauler. Like, I'm a big fan of Mauler and his game reviews, but the one thing that I cannot stand about him is how much he dislikes the freaking Mandalorian. I mean, Critical Drinker is another YouTube movie reviewer that I watch quite often. And he's not the absolute, I don't know, absolute most giddy about the freaking series either, but he's a whole lot more fair to Mandalorian than Mauler is, and Rags for that matter, at least. Oh, damn it. Ah. I'm going to... Does your anxiety affect your connection to people? Most definitely, Mythical Fish. Most definitely. But yeah. I know that, in continuation of my commentary on Mandalorian, though, I know that Mandalorian is not exactly the most story strong as far as Star Wars goes and character development. I mean, there ain't so much as there isn't so much as a character development technically in Mandalorian. It's like the characters are a little bit more one-dimensional and almost flat, I guess you could say, kind of like a cartoon character, like if I was to watch Tom and Jerry or something like that, a little bit. I mean, there is the one character, the one criminal that Mandalorian had to bargain with throughout the series. I guess he has a little bit of a character arc. Although Mauler, for some reason, thinks his arc is a little bit more shoehorned. especially in the one episode that he was featured in episode 2 or season 2, excuse me. I can't even remember the name of the criminal character that he had to team up with. But like I was saying, Mandalorian is not exactly the most character strong. I just like it mostly for the action and the environments and reuse of alien species. The fact that the alien species get reused a little bit more. Like the Gamorreans, the Quarrens, you know, the Mon Calamarians. Like, the Quarrens have 2 names for them. Mon Calamarians and Quarrens. And also, the characters do have their fun moments of banter. It's not like there ain't exactly strong character development or character arcs in or not in Mauler, in Mandalorian, but there's at least fun banter, and the characters, even though they don't so much as develop, they're still kind of likable. At least more likable than all the characters within the sequel trilogy. But that's not saying much, honestly. Honestly, if Mauler was to say that Mandalorian is mediocre, he ain't wrong, but I don't see as to why that's a reason necessarily to hate it, really. Oh, shit. Oh, damn it. JC Armitage says Mandalorian is better than any of the films that came out in the last decade. I can agree. I mean, Rogue One was pretty good, but I will agree that I still like Mandalorian better than Rogue One, mostly because Mandalorian is not as over the top as Rogue One or. You died. Says of Fish. Yeah, I know. Shut up.
This is not over.
Okay. I have a little bit of catching up to do in the live chat, so I think after this game of Overwatch, I might pause and just read the chat for a bit. I just felt like getting a game of Overwatch in for the night because live chat was slowing down for a moment there, but now the live chat seems to be quite catching up. Damn it. You're out of time! Attack! Oh, damn it. No. We're going to lose this. We're going to lose this. Fuck me. Whatever. Wasn't a bad play, I guess. I mean, it did kind of save that team from the game. What's my stats look like? Elimination 7, deaths 8. Pfft, not my best game, but whatever. I don't care. So getting a little bit caught up in the chat here, and to just show as to what I was laughing at right there. Mr. Merchant says, Darkon, do you know what is missing from the Mandalorian? A MAGA hat. No BS told me so. Yes, Mr. Merchant. Yes. I wish Loudmouth and S-Man could make more content, says Mr. Merchant. All right. Yeah, I definitely. I wish they could have. I mean, especially loudmouth. Mythical says, Mr. Merchant, it's already starting to become bigoted. They don't want Gina doing her own stunts. Actually, people don't want Gina at all in the freaking Mandalorian. The SJWs don't. Which is funny. I mean, isn't she a strong female woman, her character is, and yet you want to cast her out of the series? Come on. How hypocritical of you, SJWs. Jay Sharmatel says, I had to take care of something, so I was gone for a while. Did my last question get answered? Your last question. Let me look back at that. Ever seen Blade Runner? Yeah, I answered that, JC. I know. I've never seen Blade Runner. Not in full, at least. Catch says, I'll have a look. I am Christian, so Ken Ham's Museum is of interest to me. All right. I wish there was one over here. Did you like the Mandalorian series? Already answered that. Does your anxiety affect your connection to people? It definitely does. In fact, my anxiety kind of affects my ability to approach live streams. Like, I'm not going to lie, I was getting a little bit of pre-stream anxiety. I get quite often pre-live stream anxiety, and I hate that. Derpy Redneck says, I just got back from bringing firewood into my living room, putting up my cleaning tools after working on my utility room, and I'm debating on whether I should get out of my deer bones now or tomorrow. Your deer bones. Oh, get out my deer. Oh, okay, you're talking about for making your venison broth. I gotcha, Derpy. I gotcha. Mifko says, Din Djarin is dead to me. He took off that fucking helmet. You know what? I will say that is a little bit disappointment. Like, Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, he takes off his helmet a little bit too often. Darth Mauler. Yeah, right, Mr. Merchant. Mifko says, all because Pablo was being a fucking dick. Yeah. The Tooth Fairy Cat Chat asks, what do you mean the Tooth Fairy? Are you talking about the movie? If you're talking about the movie that has Dwayne Johnson in it, yes. No, I did not watch that, at least not in full. I watched the game plan in full. The other movie of where that he was a buff macho man who got who kind of gets sissified in a sort of way by being I don't know, exploited by his daughter. Whereas the Tooth Fairy, he gets definitely sissified by putting on angel wings and dealing with magic pixie dust and whatnot. Catchat says, whoever didn't get that reference has low taste in YouTube animators. Oh, okay. You're referencing a YouTube animator. I thought you were talking about movies for a second there, Catchat. My bad. JK, love you. All right. Mifkofa says, true, JC, but Pascal was being a dick. I liked him because he isn't a badass, but now that helmet. Excuse me. Catchat says, okay, guys, I have to click off, so please be careful what you say so you don't get censored by YouTube. I won't be here to approve comments. Maybe I should, add some more moderators. Give out some more wrenches to the live chat. Darkon. Oh wait, I already read that. Derpy Redneck says no BS. You mean full BS? But yeah. Yep. Unfortunately, he's nothing but full of BS. He is. No BS is. Ha, got him, says Mr. Merchant. Yep. Have you seen the Fifth Element? Asks Myth Callfish. Yeah, I have seen Fifth Element. You know what? That's the thing. Star Wars probably would not be my most favorite sci-fi movie. Okay, I guess I ought to specify on which Star Wars is my most favorite. I like Return of the Jedi the best, honestly. And I know that a lot of people, they like The Empire Strikes Back a lot better, say that that's a superior Star Wars movie. But all the same, I like Return of the Jedi a lot better. Just because it was a little bit more lighter-hearted. Had a happy ending and whatnot. Ever played Dark Souls before? Asks JC. Only when I was able to play it on other people's computers and consoles and whatnot. Outside of that, no. I don't own the game.
Synchronization 100%. Good to be back.
Is your most dependable ally.
Get back. Keep the skies clear for me.
How is The Fifth Element not be your favorite sci-fi movie? That soundtrack was in a league of its own, says Myth Callfish. Yeah, I mean,
3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
I mean, it was pretty good, but I don't know.
Lifting off. Focus my target. Moving up.
I am fine.
All right, doing good so far. You can't sit with us, Dark Con JK, says Myth Callfish. Wait, what? Oh,
Changing position.
you're talking about because I don't like Fifth Element more than I actually do. I do like Fifth Element. Don't get me wrong. I just don't find it to be my most favorite because I feel like Fifth Element was just lacking a little bit. No, get up! Fuck. Ooh, team kill, nice.
Repairing internal circuitry.
And what I was about to say earlier, like, my favorite sci-fi movie would not be Star Wars if only all the other sci-fi movies out there, like, were a little bit more successful. Like, I'd probably like Evangelion, or not Evangelion, not Evangelia. God, what's the name of that movie? The one movie that was also made by Luc Besson. Luc Besson is the guy who... Luc Besson was the guy who made Fifth Element. He also made another movie recently of where that he was trying to copy the same formula, successful formula of Fifth Element, but kind of trying...
Adaptive circuits engaged. Debar. Best round. Reversing personality model.
Enemy C.
Okay, what was I going to say? Let me see if I can try to find that movie very quickly.
Nothing to worry about. Unless there's something to worry about. As Dr. Liao always said.
Let's keep the skies clear together.
Valerian. That's what it's called. That's what the movie is called. Valerian. Like, I'd probably consider Valerian to be my most favorite sci-fi franchise. Or sci-fi movie, rather. If only it was a little bit better. Like, the first half of Valerian was pretty good. Like, I wanted to see a little bit more of that gangster character who kind of felt like an even better version of Jabba the Hutt. Pretty much. Like, I wanted to see more of him, but no. The second half of the movie kind of sucks. as far as Valerian goes, and plus the Marine characters from the first half of Valerian and whatnot, and the love relationship between the two main characters in that movie wasn't as obnoxious in the first half, but by the second half, it just got more painstakingly cringy and shit. Whereas I'll like, please stop it with this. This is painful.
Boosting up.
There we go. That's the only thing that says Ruby Road for me, or Ruby Rod. Oh, Ruby Rod. Okay, you're talking about the Chris Tucker character from Fifth Element.
Mobility increase.
Oh shit, Bob! No, Bob! No! Leave me. Oh wait, Bob went all the way fucking over there.
Repairing internal circuitry.
I'm not able to focus real heavily on the live chat, y'all. Sorry. This game is just getting a little bit too good right now. I should have used my ultimate right there. Clip, says Myth Cuttlefish. All right. Which Batman movie was your favorite from the 2000s, says Myth Cuttlefish. Which Batman movie? What do you mean 2000s? Because the only the only movie that I can think of from the 2000s would be the Ben Affleck, which you couldn't even really call those Batman movies because Batman wasn't his own sole character. Yeah, the Ben Affleck Batman movies, Batman wasn't his own sole character throughout those movies. You know, Batman versus Superman, and then Batman versus Superman and Justice League. He wasn't in his own story throughout those. And then there's a Dark Knight trilogy. Those are the only ones I can think of. I gotta say, that was a good play of the game right there. 90s. I'm sorry, says Myth Cuttlefish. All right. So you're asking about the stay as team. You know what? Why not? Let me see how much I can get caught up in the chat here. Wow, all 6 of us are gonna stay on the same team. Literally, damn. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me, folks. Mr. Merchant says it is both role selection. I accept, and I want to go for damage personally. It is both funny and sad that people think they can survive something just because they watch it on movies and played a lot of video games. Looking at you, zombie fans. Right. Myth Cuttlefish says, I'm kidding. We all like different things. All right. Mr. Merchant. At Mr. Merchant, I wouldn't just survive. I'd be Negan. Whatever that's supposed to mean. I'm going to go ahead and take this freaking banner down because it's getting in the way. JC Armitage says, I love The Fifth Element, but it's kind of hard to watch because Ruby Rod reminds me too much of Ghazi Kadzo, aka Black Hitler. Oh, that's a good one, JC. No one asks, do you ever watch ghost hunting videos like Nuke's Top 5 or Bigfoot videos like from Bob Gimlin? I don't watch a whole lot of Nuke's Top... Well, okay, I do watch on occasion Nuke's Top 5, but I watch more of Chill's more than Nuke's. I watch more of Chill's than Nuke's. At JC Armitage, Ghazi wasn't even around when that film came out. To me, Ghazi is a Ruby clone. Ghazi Kadzo is a Ruby Rod clone. I love that myth, Goldfish. I love it. Well, except here's the thing. Ghazi Kadzo has an even less likable personality than Ruby Rod. Let's be honest. At least Ruby Rod isn't a fucking flaming racist.
Going free. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers income. Ability increase. Stop the pain.
Oh yeah, doing very good right now.
Enemy turret destroyed. Burn them down. Adaptive circuits engaged. Fever. Personality duplication.
Oh well, I don't even like Diva.
Focus my card. Down.
Ah! Damn it!
I need to get back in there.
I didn't even. Let me check the StreamYard here. Did anybody join the call? Nobody joined the call.
Executing flight maneuver.
Oh well.
Locking on.
shit, 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 shit.
Ability increased.
No. Shit.
Touch from afar. System reboot complete. The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Well, hot damn, y'all. How's the live chat looking? Decon doesn't like Diva. Me with my Diva Mecha chair, says Smith Goldfish. Sorry to disappoint.
Taking off. Adaptive circuits engaged. Diva.
Oh shit, 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 shit. Oh yeah. Woo.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Reinhardt. Taking off.
Ow. I would join, but I have my reasons not to, says Mr. Merchant. Miss Goldfish says, do tell, Mr. Merchant. Aha! Killed you, Diva, before you could get back in your mech suit. Suck it, bitch. Oh no. Here comes Bob. Ah, fuck you. Whatever the fuck. I kid. This was fun, Darkon. Congrats. I gotta go. Be good, says Myth Goldfish. Thanks for joining Myth Goldfish and watching this. As long as you have.
Flight routine activated.
Damn it.
60 seconds.
Shit. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Beaver. You have to learn from your mistakes. Adaptive circuits engaged. Repeater.
Ah! At Myth Goldfish one, almost time for bed too. I don't want to stay up too late. Completely understandable reasons, Merchant.
Regeneration complete. Switching back to combat mode.
Fuck.
Boosting up.
Ah! Shit. Shit. Ouch. Decon does. Okay, wait, no, I already watched that or read that one.
Neural adaptation complete. Changing position.
Ah. And I just took out the trash. Thankfully, I'm back, and I wanted to. What's your favorite supercar or at least race car? Asks Derpy Redneck. I don't have a favorite as far as supercars or race cars go. Sadly enough, Redneck. Sorry.
Moving on.
I guess I'm not that much of a man's man, am I? If I don't have a favorite car. Well, actually, I never claimed to be a man's man. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Diva. Taking off.
Behind you.
Yeah. Ah! Damn it. We get so close to beating them. It is what it is, says Derpy Redneck. Yeah. I died by my own hand. Seriously? Really?
Boosting up.
Ow! Fuck. Myth Goldfish asks, if you had to choose from the Joel Schumacher movies, which are the worst Batmans, which one? Batman and Robin, I'd say was the worst one. And again, there is one redeeming quality with Yes! Yes! Whoa! Woo! Good game. Good game. Real good game.
Play of the game.
Cat memes. Okay. So funny that I say that I don't like Diva, and it's our team's Diva that just got the play of the game. Well, good for them, but it's just I can't really get into Diva. Like, I cannot master them. Can't master her. Mr. Merchant says Brendan Fraser plus Harry Connick Jr. equals Nick Gillespie. Okay. That was a pretty fitting username right there. Right. It's okay, Darkon. We, as Mr. Merchant says, it's a 34 eliminations at 13. 34 eliminations? That's probably the most eliminations that I ever got in a single game. Holy crap. There's 14 deaths right there, but still, 34 eliminations. Jeez. Whew. Anyway. Mr. Merchants, I accept. Let's go. Mr. Merchant says, it is okay, Darkon. We as gamers all have those embarrassing getting ourselves killed moments. Yeah. I'm sure. Okay. Nobody really wanted to hang out on this live stream. It doesn't matter. Okay. Nothing going on so much in the live chat. Only got 4 people watching, including myself looking at my browser. I don't know if I'll stay live here for much longer. How long have I been live, actually? I got to ask. I've been live for 1 hour and 41 minutes. Derpy Redneck says, I asked for the link to the stream earlier. I'd have joined. Well, I sent the link. I sent the link. Wait. I sent the link for StreamYard and Discord, Derpy Redneck. You not see that? Yeah, Discord, the link, I sent it at 7:23 p.m. Yeah, if you want to join Derpy Redneck, it's right there and available, dude. Apparently not, LOL. Saying that he did not already see it, I guess. Jason Armitage says, yeah, I know that feeling as well. I've fragged myself more times with rocket launchers and various multiplayer boomer shooters than I'd like to admit. Boomer shooters. Are you talking about like old style or FPSs?
Prepare to attack. Select your hero.
In the live chat, Mr. Merchant goes asking, would there be any Rational Outlaw videos you could respond to? And you kind of read my mind in the next sentence that you said right there, Mr. Merchant. For me, it is a Satanic Temple and the First Amendment video. Yeah, that would definitely be the video that I would respond to if I had to respond to a Rational Outlaw video. But I don't really... I'm not going to prioritize responding to Rational Outlaw, though. I don't know of how necessary it would be. Maybe I will sometime, but if I was to respond to Rash's video on the Satanic Temple, it'd probably just come across as nothing but petty clout chasing or something. I don't know. I definitely would not rule it out. That's the only one that I can think of that I would actually bother going out of the way to make a response video. And I think I just heard the tone of a person joining the call right now. Ah.
Hey, what's up?
Howdy. Wes, you don't mind to go by that, do you? Oh, damn, I got blown up there.
Nope, not at all.
All right. I'll just call you that going here on out because that's a lot easier than Derpy Redneck. Derpy Redneck can be a little bit of a mouthful.
Yeah, technically that's just it's a character in the same way AVGN is James Rolfe's character, and it's also my trademark. It's basically a satire of different cracker trash stereotypes and certain ghetto stereotypes all condensed into one. This also it was also founded as a way to saying a big 2 middle fingers, basically fuck you to a group of 4,000 gamer incels that rated my my first YouTube channel, The West Savage Show. when I cussed out an admin because she was an entitled cunt.
Right.
So,
All right.
and it
I
was a
heard.
character I was also including in my story I'm still writing on called Guardian of the Omniverse. I'm writing one of the crossover stories. I'm gonna post on Wattpad eventually.
Guardian of the Omniverse. It sounds too reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy.
I've been working on it since 2001 in my head and in paper and whatnot.
Okay. So a little bit longer than the movies of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Quite a bit longer. I actually like to do comic writing myself. I haven't got anything published. In fact, there was one project that I had got so far along in doing, but I decided to restart that one even. I like to call it Stargaze, actually. And by the way, I'm getting a whole lot of reverb. Do you have headphones or something you can put on, please?
Oh, shit. Let me try to find my little earbuds or something. I wonder if there's a... Oh, fuck. I don't have them. What can I do to minimize that fucking feedback? Shit.
Yeah, while you're trying to fix that, I'm going to keep on talking about it. One comic project that I'm currently working on, I like to call it Stargaze. No, that does not have anything to do with LGBT people. I'm meaning gaze like G-A-Z-E, damn it. At a project I had got along for so long, but then I shown some of it to a friend, and she said that she likes the art style, that it reminds her a lot of Adult Swim and whatnot. But she said that she thought that it would work a lot better if it would be a lot better if I was to animate it.
All right, let's see how this goes. Let's see if this feedback's canceled out some. I've got to get me some headphones, but then again, I'm gonna try to empty a lot of my files and my storage out of this computer I got currently, and I'm gonna put it back in the closet somewhere and finish moving to my new one I'm making down payments on.
All right.
So, did that help?
Testing, 1, 2, 3. I can't hear it as much, so it did help.
All right. Sorry about that.
Like,
I had earbuds, but they fucking shit out on me not too long ago.
Oh. You gotta get yourself some Raycons.
Yeah. I'm fully aware.
I've done multiple comic projects. It's just a passion that I have that never really I never really published anything, but it's my passion for comics first started off with a fanfic for Cyberchase. You know what Cyberchase is?
You mean the PBS show?
Yeah.
Yes, I was a very
What? You kind of cut out there.
avid watcher of that show.
Wait. Start over because you kind of cut out for a second there.
All right, let's see if this helps. I was a very avid watcher of it.
You were a very avid watcher?
Yes, big time.
So was I. I liked Christopher Lloyd as Hacker, and of course Gilbert Gottfried as Digit and whatnot.
Yeah.
All those fun characters.
Yeah, just voicing another fucking bird as usual.
Well, I mean, can you blame the guy? He's perfect for the part. He's got that very stunning voice.
I tell you, if you want to hear some fucking great jokes from Gilbert, go watch his Friars Club roasting of George Takei. It's really fucked up.
He did a what with George Takei?
Friars Club roast. They did a celebrity roast at the Friars Club, and it was for George Takei.
Friars Club, like we talking about deep fat friars, or are we talking about friars as in Friar Tuck?
Friar is in Friar Tuck Friars.
Okay.
And it's basically one of those celebrity group gatherings where they used to do different kind of shit together before they did the Comedy Central. They still do it.
I'll just remember to search up Gilbert Gottfried and
Just
George
Gilbert
Takei.
Gottfried and George Takei roast. It's fucked up.
All right.
It is fucked up, but it's great.
System reboot complete.
But yeah, my passion for drawing comics first started off with a little Cyber Chase fanfic that I called War for Cyber Chase, or Cyber Chase Wars. I can't remember the exact title of it, but I basically took all the main characters and I put myself and some of my siblings into that universe, silly enough, and of course added some other characters on top of that. One of them being named Rhinon was the one of the characters that I made up. And he would be like a recurring idea that I would have for multiple other comic projects as well. Next comic project would be called Wars for Hyperspace, which is not based in the Cyber Chase universe, but I don't know. I was feeling very uncreative and just decided to call it Hyperspace instead of Cyber Chase, or Cyberspace rather.
Yeah.
But then I just realized of how bad that idea was, because of freaking Star Wars, their warp is literally called hyperspace, so that would not have worked, of course. But yeah, so I went from Wars for Cyberspace, then Wars for Hyperspace, and both those ideas I completely scrapped. And there's another idea, like I watched Farscape. You ever watched the series Farscape?
No.
It's another sci-fi series. I mean, speaking of sci-fi series, like in the live chat, I guess that would be another personal favorite sci-fi series, but I digress. It's an Australian-made sci-fi series, and I kind of got some inspiration from that for my next comic project, and that's where that I would come up with the idea of
Guardian of the Omniverse is basically starts out it's two storylines. One is the main logs. They're known as the main logs. Basically, a fictionalized version of myself endures a bunch of what if scenarios. What would I do if I had gained like cosmic power? What were the choices I would do and whatnot? What would be and then the other story, that's the first half of it. The other half is when that counterpart goes time traveling backwards for the first time, makes a miscalculation, and winds up opening a wormhole that jumps back 10,000 years sooner. I mean, earlier than he was supposed to.
all right.
And he meets a younger counterpart of his and tries to join certain family members as a different identity, and tries to shape the future of his soon to be born counterpart for the better than what he had. And then
I'm going to have to stop playing this for a little bit for me to focus a little bit better on the conversation.
Then and then the rest of that second quarter of of that storyline would be him and the two getting together and fighting fighting different enemies and shit like that. He dabbles in philosophy and mythology and stuff. There's a lot of historic fiction. Imagine it's like a sci-fi fantasy action adventure.
All right.
Now, I will tell you, there's some pretty brutal areas. Like, Derp Redneck's the second in power character. That eventually formulated. He basically starts fighting like full in World War III.
Fighting world.
He's in world. He gets directly tied up into World War III, and that's when his powers start to activate.
All right.
And he witnesses his wife get shot. And it gets dark from there for a while.
The chat comment by JC Armitage, I just gotta read it. Raycons, does this mean this stream is now sponsored by RaidCon Skillshare Legends? Yeah, all the obnoxious advertising.
And it's going to go into, and it goes into some other controversial topics that a lot of media won't touch upon or go in deeply enough. Because of the background of the guy who killed his wife, he almost falls into that trap where, how someone gets done bad to them or to someone they love, and they fall into the racist, slippery slope.
Mm.
And he almost falls into that, but he finds his way out of it.
I got you.
And then after that, he grows as for the better, and he starts trying to help in the reconstruction of a lot of places in the world after that. And then he has to keep his activation of his power secret from the public. And then he starts learning about the workings of the Watchers of the Omniverse Secret Society. And he learns about Count West, how Count West has actually over 110,000 years old by the time he meets him.
Secret Society like Freemason and Illuminati and all that stuff?
The real Illuminati, yeah. Funny, yeah, that kind of thing.
All right, cool.
And so and then it goes into that, and eventually the second storyline would be the crossover logs, where he's literally crossing over into the popular fiction forms that I tend to be a fan of. Certain anime stories, certain movie series, certain ones. And you're gonna see some zany shit. I'm still writing a lot. I started the very story that caused the Count West character and the story to be conceived in 01 in the first place. Basically, apparently there's a half demon from Derpy's universe that crossed over into Rayman's universe, and after Rayman, Rayman 3, actually between Rayman 2 and Rayman 3.
Never heard of Rayman. So
Rayman is a great fucking Nintendo 64 game. Rayman 2 and The Great Escape. I highly recommend watching a long play, or bit by bit, and watch, because it is a fantastic. I have it on emulator, so. I still have the cartridge here in this trunk underneath my desk. This big ass trunk I got, old style trunk. But essentially, the demon was too powerful for the two on their own, because Count West enters another multiverse. When he enters another multiverse, he powers down to a very weakened state. He has to earn his way back up in power, because the source of all directly inhibits him. Again, there's a lot of theological stuff and implications too. And what's great though is this was when the event that caused me to pop in my head. The actual development, the start part of the development of the character. Part of my character's first being conceived. The other part of it, they basically do a fusion. Rayman houses him. I actually had an old drawing of the fusion. I don't know what happened to it. I lost it years ago, but I actually had the drawing of it. Imagine the Rayman character, except he has my eyes. Well, back then they were blue-gray. Now they're just storm gray.
Mm-hmm.
And my hair color, and there's an aura. There's a massive aura.
What hair?
Off the character. Red hair.
No, I
Yeah, I know. You were talking about I shaved my head down but my hair color is naturally, my facial hair color is solid gold.
Okay.
But
I couldn't help it. But by the way, there was a long time when that I was going bald on this YouTube channel myself, but then I decided to let it grow out. Because I like, screw it. Girls aren't going to like my egg-looking head. Egg-shaped looking head.
it is what it is. I mean, I don't really care one way or another.
I don't know. Yours doesn't look particularly egg-shaped, but mine is just completely unappealing. You rock it better than me. Let me put it that way.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, and that's how that story. So and then I go into that actual story arc to touch upon that half of my story conception. So I eventually when I started the YouTube channel I currently have now, which I backed up with Library and BitChute. I called I named it after that character, Derpy Redneck. That isn't his real name. His name's Wesley John Michael Montgomery Kane Savage. That was his name. He was given at birth.
Okay.
Based off of memory.
So Wes Savage is not your real name?
Yeah, Wesley Savage is my real name. I just don't give up my middle name.
Okay. I didn't know if Wes Savage was just you taking your own little fictional property and using that as an internet alias.
No, it is my real name. The only thing I do as an internet property is the moniker Shrimp Po' Boy. That was inspired by the Louisiana sandwich, that started back in the teens and 20s, 1910, 1920s decade. And they would serve out these sandwiches to people of different, working people. Because, the federal government, the big corporate policies, they tend to, when it comes to like black Hispanics and stuff that we have a lot of in Louisiana, they tend to get two times to triple, the negative effects that we get, and also tend to apply with the Native American demographics that we have here too. Surprisingly, still are heavy admixed descent like myself, and certain different graphics. So they would be really poor ass workers, and there would be people that would have leftover shrimp and stuff like that, or maybe even chopped up bits of gator. They put these in these sandwiches, and then they would hand them out and say, "Here, po' boys," and that's how it was started. I basically took that cultural history piece, and then the tater salad theme of the tater salad moniker by the comedian Ron White, and I just said, "Fuck it." I used to call myself Count West the Demu Lord on Steam because Count West did, for a short while, when I was writing the shit down more, because Count West did have a reign over vampires for a while. The ancient Mesopotamian vampire race, and like I said, a lot of mythology and historical fiction.
I gotcha. There was one
Think
time
it-
when that I had the idea to incorporate some mythologies, you know, um, Greek and Egyptian and so forth. Of course, that was one of my older properties. I was going to try to incorporate actual human-made mythologies into that, but yeah, that's when I decided to move on to other projects. Um, so with all the different comic ideas that I had like gone through, of course, starting over, there was the Cyber Chase fanfic, then there was the War for Hyperspace, and then after watching Farscape, I got some inspiration from that and decided to make a new sci-fi comic project called that I wanted to call Star Noon. It'd be kind of complicated for me to. Basically, the reason why I called it Noon was because I was saying essentially that the universe was in its mid period as far as space exploration goes. Not quite towards the end, not quite towards the beginning, but just in the mid period, sort of. Um, and that idea of Star Noon, based off of Farscape, like I said. In Farscape, there was like a one astronaut named John Crichton who is in his shuttle, and he ends up getting trapped in a wormhole of where that he gets flung to like the farthest reaches of the universe and comes across this this what's the word I'm looking for? This motley crew of different alien species on this one living ship. I did not incorporate the whole living ship aspect into that Star Noon project, but the motley crew of different people from different alien races all being forced to work together for survival. And then you got these humans that just get stuck in the midst of it. That was the idea that I got with that. And they go through different systems trying to solve these different political disputes between all these alien races and so forth. Kind of a little bit almost Star Trek Voyager-ish kind of. But primarily Farscape was my main inspiration for that idea. But then I decided that I wanted to go back to Earth with my property. So I came up with the idea of Star Twilight, set in the same universe as Star Noon, except it's even further in the future than from when Star Noon was. But then I thought all this Earth-based stuff, it's a little bit too politically fueled. Like some of the characters were like future iterations of current day political figures and so forth. Like literally, there's these brothers who go by the name of Coke, the last name of Coke.
Yeah.
And the future leader of the American Empire, as I called it, his last name was literally Carson. And I like based his physical design literally off of Ben Carson.
Yeah.
Enough. And I thought, yeah, no, I'm going to scrap that. This is a little bit too based in real life. It'd be a little bit too controversial in that area. So that's when I got the idea to start Twilight in a completely different universe. But then I thought, start Twilight, nah, it's too similar to that other idea. I'm going to just give it a new idea. And so I thought Stargaze. That'd be the and the reason why I called the current project Stargaze is because one of the main characters, was like born and raised all their life basically underground. Like, you know, the planet of Coruscant from Star Wars?
Yes, I do. It's like the home. It's like the version of Earth. It's like Earth, but they renamed the fuck out of it later on. But it before the actual franchise really took off. Where the Rakata race, whatever the fuck those amphibians were called, that actually discovered the dark side of the Force and figured out how to do hyperdrive with it.
I didn't know that they were. I do not know if they were native to Coruscant.
Humans were. I think Coruscant was what they. I think it was the Coruscant was their equivalent to Earth before. I think they renamed it for that. I don't know. It's basically their version of our Earth.
Yeah, it was like Earth for a long time, and then humanity somehow became the galactic hub of all trade and whatnot, to where it just became a giant megaplex of where the entire planet is one massive city. Well, here's a little fun fact. You mean Coke or Coke? I meant Coke as in K-O-Z-H, J.C. Armitage. But Coruscant. A little fun fact about that: there are 5,000 levels of city on that planet.
Yeah, it's basically I think it was called they changed it to Coruscant as they changed it into its current form, I guess. It's taint deep. It's beyond balls deep at this point. The balls are already in. It's taint deep. The fucking mythology. Oh,
Yeah.
Christ. Man, the expanded universe. Do you know, I actually commented on one of the Star Wars videos talking about the whole thing. I'm like, the way it was set up, all George Lucas had to do was stay true to his original vision and use the expanded universe material to make new movies with, and give the guys and girls who created the material source for those expanded universe stories royalties and whatnot. And he could have done that. The fucking entirety of Cade Skywalker would have been the perfect 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah.
Because he learned to embrace both the dark and the light side of the Force equally, just like the first Jedi Order, before they split off when the Dark users went to planet Korriban with the Sith race to found the Order of the Sith 20-something thousand years back.
Yeah, I do recall that there's like one picture I see of where Luke Skywalker is literally using Force lightning at one point.
Yeah. But Cade Skywalker revived people or brought them back from death's doorknob.
Oh, interesting.
He was basically figured out how to do what Darth Plagueis could never fully master, and what Anakin Skywalker wanted to do for others. Yeah, but he did it without becoming, subverted by the dark side. He learned to embrace the positive emotions in order to heal people instead of turning himself over. He conquered it, and that was what finalized the entirety of the Skywalker family lines. That was the ultimate final redemption, essentially.
Cool.
I mean, you could say Luke was, but this is basically doing what Anakin always wanted to do but fucked up.
Right. Lost connection.
Sorry.
What the heck happened there?
I was managing some tabs and I saw some fucked up memes I had to say on the tabs. I was closing them out and I accidentally closed this one.
Where'd Wes go? F. Press it. Yeah, press F in the chat for Wes accidentally pressing the X button. But anyway, to kind of continue my point, the reason why I brought up Coruscant was because Coruscant, there's a little bit more to it. It has like 5,000 levels of city, and I was explaining the reason as to why they call my current property Stargaze. The reason why is because one of the main characters lives on one of the bottom levels of one of the main capital worlds in the Stargaze universe. Kayat-2, it's not a planet, but it's a moon, an entire city that is wrapped around an entire moon. But it's, instead of there being 5,000 levels of city, there's only 26 levels, going through the alphabet levels, Z, W, and so on and so forth. She lives down in level X, and she never, ever saw the sun or sky or anything like that. Didn't even hardly know it existed. And then she joins the Republic Rangers, and that's the opportunity of where that she finally gets to see outside. But she doesn't get to immediately see the sky. Even then, she first gets taken into a starship where she gets taken into the block, which is like the primary training facility for all Republic Rangers within the Kayan Republic. She doesn't even see the sky right then because it's so massive, and she gets put into one of the more central areas, along with all the rest of the main characters. It's not until like on K 4 is like the one of the moons of K Prime. K Prime is like a gas giant, basically. And on K 4, there's an invasion happening from the Galactic Federation, one of the other superpowers of the Stargaze universe, Stargaze galaxy, whatever. And they try to invade that, and immediately the Republic Rangers have to get deployed immediately to there. Even some of the trainees that were in the block, they had to get cut short on some of their training. That's how desperate that the Republic was becoming at that point. And at one point, for one night, she finally gets the opportunity to take off her helmet along with some of the other main characters and actually see the stars. She gets her first stargaze. That's where I got the idea from. Or got the, yeah. Based off of her first time experience of seeing the stars and whatnot. And that's the current project I'm working on right now. And I showcase some of the work. Like, I had like this one little flashback scene explaining the one girl's backstory. Shyrick is her name. Basically a play on the name Charisse, but it's a little bit more of a twist on that. Shyrick is her name, or she just gets sometimes nicknamed Rick, funnily enough. There's a flashback scene that I have showing us to why she joined the Republic Rangers. I showed that to my friend, and she said that she liked the art style, she likes the story and whatnot, but she thinks it would be a lot better if I was to like animate it and whatnot. So I thought, yeah, I'll start over one more time. Keep the same exact idea and premise, but just have a little bit of a different story flow, and I do it on a smart pad instead of on paper that I've been doing it for the longest time. You know?
Yeah. I was about to get my. Let me see who that is. Give me a second.
Not much.
I'll be back.
All right. Not much going on in the live chat right now. Oh. Benjamin Schultz in the chat. How is that Corona? I'm afraid that I let it go a little bit too warm right now, but it still tastes all right. I mean, personally, I like Modelo a little bit better. Looks like you need another one. Well, maybe I'll go ahead and grab one of my Blue Moons out of the fridge. But this is the last one that I have right here. I just thought I'd finish it off.
I had to get the vacuum cleaner out of the middle of the kitchen. I had left it there. I was working on my utility room earlier, as I said. First, I vacuumed the floor real well, and then I did a certain way of scrubbing. I have a very different mopping method. I don't just go straight with the mop in a single bucket. No, I have a big-ass rinse bucket, and I have a spray solution of cleaner. For $3.20-something at a local store, I got a pine oil-based cleaner where it's just 65% pine oil, and I think a certain amount percent actual soap, and a little bit of isopropanol and water to keep it emulsified, and that shit is strong.
Yeah, the smell of pine sol.
A little bit, yeah.
We need to get you to start drinking Jameson, says Ben Schultz in the chat. Actually, not gonna lie, Jameson is my probably my primary favorite whiskey. I like straight shot that thing, and I think I like it better than both Crown Royal and definitely better than Jack Daniels. What is that? I cannot tell. Yellowtail. Pinot Noir.
Pinot Noir, yes. I'm more of a wine guy. I think let's see. I've tried Merlot, Sauvignon Blanc, Cabernet Sauvignon, Pinot Noir, Pinot Grigio, Marsala, Sherry. I've never tried port. Want to though, because I think there's something I want to use it for. I'm I've never had sack, but I don't think they have that anymore. What was the other? Moscato. I've tried different ones. I think my favorite is Pinot Noir, as I have there, and Cabernet Sauvignon and Moscato. Those are my most. Those are my three top.
Port is good as an after dinner drink. Ben Schultz says in the chat. And it says, "Hi, Derpy. Nice to meet you."
Likewise.
He also said a lot earlier. That's my boy, referring to me straight shooting Jameson and liking it better than. Well, I don't know about liking it better than freaking Jack Daniels and Crown Royal, but that's just my personal opinion. I would say that Fireball obviously is the easiest one to go down. Jim Beam bourbon. I think I might have had a Jim Beam before.
I prefer the Jim Beam of this versus black. I prefer Jim Beam black, but I had this. I drank a lot of eggnog. Got a little tipsy on eggnog around the Christmas time, so I was the only one at the house going to drink it. I didn't have the ice bags and the salt I needed to turn it to ice cream that could make kids nod off ever so quickly. Don't do that. Just say can. Don't give me ideas. Yeah, they are good with a nice ribeye, Schultz. Yeah, they're good. I'll tell you another one they're good with, T-bones or porterhouses.
Porterhouse steak?
Yes.
Oh. I like ribeye the best. That's probably my favorite cut. Look at some of the Oregon and Washington Pinot Noir Derpy. They are good with a nice ribeye. Oh, okay.
That's fine, yeah. But yeah, speaking of which, I have a couple of deer roasts, shoulder roasts in the damn freezer, and a heart.
And a heart?
Yes.
What are you going to use the heart for?
Probably going to cut it into real thin slivers and soak it in teriyaki and sauce and a little extra sake to make teriyaki flavored jerky, and grind it for teriyaki pemmican. Japanese meets Native American, I guess.
One second. I'm trying to arrange something right here.
I've never had it, Benjamin, but I won't do that. And I know it's a great source of different minerals. CoQ10, ubiquinol. That's the most active form of it, outside of heart and certain organs that carry it. I know there's a lot of good shit about it.
Oh, I do not need to do that. There we go.
I do eat liver on occasion. I mix a small amount of it into like my ground meat for like the burger sometimes, or sometimes I'll use it in or I'll have liver and onions because I grew up on that. Once my dad was a big fan of it. I will warn you guys, deer liver is very strong because unlike cows and sheep, goats and deer do the same diet. They graze sometimes with their browsers. They go everywhere. Ben Schultz is speaking my fucking language, I tell you what.
Try sauteed heart with a little butter. Yeah, I've never ate the heart of an animal at all.
The first time I heard of it was in elementary school up in Missouri, where I was born here in Louisiana, but I grew up in Missouri for 8 years. Moved back down here when I'll just use this for an analogy. Imagine this, the bottom of this being where my dad was with a rock loader banging up against the wall. This is a wall of rock, and there's a boulder. So what happened is, from there on down, That was
Wait,
miraculous. Why? The way that landed on him from that height should have killed him in one crush, but none of his internal organs were even bruised. His ribs were not even touched. His spine, on the other hand, were what you'd call foobarred. We're talking Postal 2 foobarred.
I gotcha.
And my dad suffered constant pain for 7 years after that. Eventually, he died 2 days before I turned 19.
Hey, but by the way, Ben, you mind if I just reveal how we know each other?
I don't mind a bit.
Yeah, this is my uncle right here. Uncle Ben.
Nice to meet you. How you doing?
Can't complain. It wouldn't do me fucking anyhow.
And by the way, just to clarify, you did see the recent text I sent you, right, Uncle?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
All right. So I clarify.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you all gruff and deep and whatnot.
Manly as shit. That's what it is, but
I can say that my balls dropped a little bit deeper than derpy redneck here, at least, but probably not as low as you.
it's a boys thing. I've been smoking and drinking too long. That's my problem.
Derpy,
where you at, man?
Louisiana.
What part?
I'm gonna pressure.
Northeast corner, south of Shreveport.
Okay, all right. My ex had her dad had what am I trying to say? He had a bar in Sulphur, or has a bar in Sulphur. So, but love me some Louisiana.
What would the name of the bar be? Because I used to sing at a few of the bars up there when I had the means to go travel there.
Bob and Pete's.
Okay, I don't think I was there because I was at Bomber Sports Bar a few times.
Okay, well that's more. Is that in Sulphur or is that in Lake Charles?
Oh no, that's in Shreveport.
Oh, in Shreveport. No, I'm talking about down in Sulphur.
Okay,
Yeah,
no, I have not been in the Lake Charles area. God damn, it's been over a decade because I think I went through that area to travel to Lafayette to meet one of my dad's brother, my uncle, the only living brother of my dad's left. He had He had 2 brothers. Well, 3. One was stillborn. My dad was one of 7 kids.
We have.
And he hated every fucking one of his sisters. Threatened to kill one of them in person, in front of his parents with bare hands, because she tried to do some shit to him. Yeah, my dad's side's got a bad temper.
I think I'm a twin. My father's a twin, and his father was. I mean, it just twins is a bunch, and my mom's side, it goes back a bunch of generations too of not skipping generations, I guess, of twins. But my family's great for the most part. There's a couple dickheads in there, but your family.
Mine's the opposite. A lot of the good ones on my dad's side are dead.
I'm sorry about that.
It is what it is. Now, the ones that are still around that are good, there's some up that are, halfway decent, but I don't hear from them much, and I lost contact with them, and they're still around. Had an uncle that was nice, wild turkey. Never had it, but I was drinking my Pinot Noir.
No, don't drink. Okay, look, hold on. Let's be with me for a second. We're gonna have a little lesson here, right? Yeah. This is just for my nephew, Derpy. I apologize. This isn't for you. I mean, you can listen to it like that, but what you need to start doing is you need to start this. Okay?
Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah!
That's what you need to start, bud. So you have your Jameson. That's good. So you have little ones. Your Maker's Mark. That's just an easy going one, right? But then this is a special reserve, Woodford Reserve, special selection. I've got some Breckenridge in here. I've got some really nice scotches, some stuff from Montana. You just start getting a collection. Anything that tells you, but Zach, listen to me. Anytime something tells you 101, that's 101 proof. You can run your fucking car on that thing almost, right? That is meant
almost, yeah. Just distill it one more time.
Oh,
you can.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was
Or
telling
if you
you.
had that old Chrysler concept car from back in the 50s that was a gas turbine car, you could have
Yeah.
you could pour straight tequila down it with
Mhm.
that 40 proof it would run.
Yeah.
Though, mind you, that was actually a birthday present this last December.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying, bud, that we need to get you a collection going. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the whole point. I'm gonna make your latte in the morning.
Take a different shot per day.
Oh, hell no. That's too much drinking. You're too young for that. Wait till you get old and you have nothing better to do. Well, I'm kidding, pal.
That would be the best time because if you get older and you have enough capital to put aside to have a little jerk off, a little piss off money, you can start. That's when you want to start that because it gets costly.
Damn right it does. Well, it's not as bad if you. It's not as bad actually if you don't drink them. Then you can buy it, right, and just wait for your friends to come over, or maybe you invite your uncle over sometime. Then you crack a bottle over, right? That's what you do. You don't have to keep going. So,
see, when it comes to me, like I said earlier, I'm just I don't do it very often. Like that's the first time I touched this shit in about a few nights, but I touched this bottle in several months before I got back into it again about a week ago.
Yeah,
I'm very, very low drinker. And if I really want to do it, I did like a half teacup of that for supper time, like 3 times a week. That would be at my very most.
Oh, and I'm not judging, man. About once a month, I'll get a toot on. Maybe go out with some people, and when we could go out. Anymore, it's just maybe have a couple people over or whatever. So, but well, listen, I appreciate you letting me jump on here, Zach. What I'll do, and Derpy, it was nice to meet you, bro.
Likewise.
But, I'm gonna let you get back to celebrating, right? I got to get back to what I'm doing. So, you boys have a good night.
You too.
Oh, it's cool. Thanks for joining on.
Yeah, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.
See you around.
Good night.
Like him.
There's my uncle right there. He actually got me introduced to Blue Moon and the cut of ribeye too, for that matter. It's a couple of my favorite things is ribeye and Blue Moon. You know what?
Why do you mention that? My first time ever experiencing the wheat beer. How do they pronounce it? Wheat beer? Fuck it. It was Belgium. It was Belgium for white beer. I think it was Dutch or French pronunciation because Belgians are either Dutch or French language wise. I forgot what it didn't, but it was basically invented by some monks, Christian monks that had nothing better to do than get fucked up when they weren't teaching, as monks. Typical. Buddhist monks are very notorious for, overdoing the sake or the shit like that. Or in the case of India, the Kittul palm tree sap. They would make a wine out of it and get fucked up, snake and the bush hog on that. They had nothing to do when they weren't meditating or teaching or esoteric philosophies. These guys invented. They didn't have them. They were short. It was in the 1450s. They were short on hops. I was like, what can we do to substitute most of the hops? So we don't have enough to fully do this shit. So they had what little hops they had, and then they mixed it with coriander and some form of orange peel from fuck knows where, I forgot. So they tried it, and they brewed part of that in to brew it, and then they spiced it with that way after that, and that's when it became the white ale. Whole Garden was supposedly recreation of that, so I tried it years ago. I was doing an experiment with honey, chipotle peppers, and adobo sauce and beer, and I wanted to try that for the barbecue sauce. I make a lot of my shit from scratch. So I tried. So that's my first experience with that. The Whole Garden. I was like, damn.
And JC, by the way, you are right. That was an unexpected but pleasant surprise. My uncle actually is showing up in the live chat and whatnot. Hefeweizen, Derpy
Hefeweizen. I've heard of that. I want to try Duvel at some point. I need someone. I need a partner because I'm not down in shit by myself.
You're kind of almost breaking up right now.
I was saying I kind of want to try Duvel, but I'm not doing it by myself. I'm not getting sick on that shit. It's pretty strong. It's almost wine strength. I need someone to split the bottle with. Fuck that. I'm not getting fucked up on that. The reason I've never gotten drunk on wine is one, I never had a desire. It was never my thing. And two, every story I've ever heard of that particular type of very, intoxication that was the worst goddamn feeling I ever experienced. Don't ever get drunk on wine. I'm like, I forgot there was an old joke my dad used to tell about getting drunk on wine, passing out, and passing out in the middle of an alleyway. Or something about being made a girl out of or some shit. I forgot what the fucking joke was. I think you know what it means, though.
JC was right that you were kind of roboting for a moment there.
Yeah, apparently I had a connection bleep.
That would be me, a fan of Darkon's content. Well, thanks for the support, JC. But not. By the way, I don't know if you can make up.
It's kind of funny that. But that was the old saying. It was like an old wisecrack about being made a girl out of if you got drunk and passed out on wine in an alleyway. I think you know what it's insinuating.
A wine. Oh, being raped.
Basically.
Oh, never mind. I was about to say the term wino, but then I thought, it gets deeper and darker than just
very dark. That's the wisecrack. That's why you never get you get made a fag out of was the basic joke. No, you don't consent.
I do have a little bit of it. Well, I won't say a little bit of a taste for wine. I mean, I typically more prefer rosés, I guess. Grape wines are just a little bit too bitter for me. Like one time my sister gave me a glass of her of some cheap grape wine, I guess, and it was an odd combination of being both too sweet and too bitter at the same time, to where I overall did not like it. But I finished it just because I would not refuse it. Sorry, what?
I would stick to certain brands and certain price ranges for a reason. I don't want to go too cheapo with it, but I also don't want to go too high with it. I'm not fucking. I stick to Yellowtail or Barefoot and like a few others. Like I got like a 12-year-old Chardonnay that my folks used to use to cook with, and I tried it one night. I was actually streaming with White Monk and a guy named Revan, and we were streaming one night. He called himself Crazy Christian that night. The White Monk did, and I had he had him some hard booze, and I had a little I had that Chardonnay. I was like, oh fuck! But here, what's fucked up is the Chardonnay. It aged and developed a sweetness of its own as it aged that long. I was like, this is a dry fucking wine. But the bitterness was not there. It had like a fruitiness, like very small vanilla undertones, and had an oakiness to it. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, the rosés, they're not exactly bitter, but they have more of a musky sort of flavor almost. I would almost define it as, along with being slightly sweet and a kind of I don't know, musky, foggy, whatever kind of flavor you would want to call it. Pixel Shine in the chat asking, what is your stance on same-sex marriage? Get the government out of marriage. That's my primary stance when it comes to marriage in general. Like, I don't want any marriage to be banned, except for those Islamic child marriages.
I'm the exact same way.
Anything else involving children as well. Personal stance on same-sex marriage. Philosophically and ultimately, I had the nuclear family, I believe, to be the best option. Man and wife and all the kids and whatnot, as opposed to any same-sex couple. But at the same time, a same-sex couple is better than having no parents, as far as anybody being able to adopt people from the foster system. Adopt kids from the foster system.
Yes, and this is how I used to argue against fascists about this. This is what I used to think. Like, okay, who would you consider a chaos agent for your ideal social setting, like social grouping? If you what you would call a chaos agent, would you take the pair that twerks in the street, nearly completely naked, expose themselves to minors and shit, or would you take the pair that just happened to bite the pillow at night, but also were very wholesome people, and you just didn't know unless you asked them and they told you? And they actually raise kids, and they would raise kids in a proper manner. Like, what would you pick? And they usually would say the second one. I'm like, well, fucking obviously. And so I would beat them at their own rhetoric with that.
So the gay
do what you
couple
want. Keep the government out of it.
The gay couple who are a little bit more subtle and to themselves with their sexuality, but will also raise their kids in more of a wholesome manner than the people being slutty twerkers on the street.
Yes, the former the more wholesome and subtle ones would be the better ones. There would not be the chaos agent. Say, of a family centered grouping and social order. The slutty twerker types, they're not parent material. Let's be real.
Yep.
I also want simply fucking not.
I also want to add on top of your question, Pixel Shine. If I found out that one of my kids was gay, just for the sake of conversation, I would not. Honestly, I do not know of how I would react. I would definitely not ostracize or alienate them from the family, because I would just lose them entirely and lose any possibility of them even, like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little bit off track here. I don't know about you, Wes, but I myself am a Christian, and sometimes I have struggles on finding out whether or not that homosexuality is a sin. Honestly, that's a debate that I have with myself and
there were
other
some
people.
Early Christian monks that were homosexuals. I have to ask one of a white monk talked to me about it. I have to call him up on the phone again and ask him about who they were, because I'll probably link that to you, because there were some early Christian monks that were homosexual, but did not practice we're not what you would think of as gay nowadays, or even back in the 70s. But
By the way, Uncle Ben, the unexpected but pleasant surprise was you popping up in the live chat and then coming onto the call. That was what both of us were referring to. Sorry, you were saying, Wes?
But I'm thinking about hitting up White Monk again and asking him about that, so I can know who these particular ones were. He converted to Orthodox for some months back. Last time I talked to him, where he was thinking about it, and I told him, you're going to have to go through about a year or so worth of process and vetting it in order just to get in. But I think you have. I told him he probably has a chance. I think he has a realistic chance. But I started out as a Methodist when I was younger. I became an atheist before my dad. A year before my dad died, I just never said anything about it. And then, about a year and a half, 2 years out of his death, I started questioning my atheism. So I guess I did not realize it, but I kept coming across the same problem, if you will. But I was writing it, and I kept having to reword myself. I spent 2 hours on this one little paragraph of a script about the concept of love and where we're at with it and shit, because I kept going in that infinity spiral. On a secular and a scientific, empirical basis, you can't really prove or disprove a higher power, let alone any particular religious deity figure, because the cognitively meaningless implication of something that basically infinity, beyond measure, it's inconceivable. You cannot mechanically, neurobiologically, psychologically process that. So you can either believe or say, what's the fucking point? I don't care, and be an agnostic apatheist. It's the most neutral theological position you can have. Watch atheists screech. and what happened, I started treading towards an agnostic deism. Now, I was still with that by the time I was hanging around Jim Jesus, and I was part of that little stream, or that little stream he did, or whatever, where he and I and was his Vault, Larry Nard, and I think Baron von Stormhaven, we were all responding to Godless Cranium, but his response to Jim Jesus' anti-theism video, which is a very solid video. Even if you're religious or not, it's still a solid video because but the Godless Cranium did not fucking have a proper fucking response. He didn't touch upon a diddle dick of what Jim said, and I'm like, come on. But anyway, I started reading into some Orthodox literature and some E. Michael Jones and a few Protestants, but I read the deism and stuff before that.
Well, the reason why I brought up my faith, though, was I guess in a roundabout sort of way, like if I did like come to a point raising a family that I did definitely believe that homosexuality was a sin. I guess I'm sort of leaning that it might. I don't know. I'm kind of a fence sitter overall on that. But if I did think that it was a sin, and I was wanting that gay child or whatever to sort of what's the word I'm trying to look for? Stray away from that sort of a sin. And if I was to alienate them for coming out of the closet as gay, I would lose them entirely, and they would just become more flaming, to put it bluntly, than they were before.
You'd have a social justice queer ready to hatch out of the demon egg, essentially.
Yeah, and I would have lost them entirely at that point. Long and short of it, I would at least accept them still within the family in spite of their homosexuality. I wouldn't even make so much of, or at least not often anyways, insensitive jabs towards it. Anyway, that's just me.
I would probably be, if I had a daughter and she turned out to be lesbo or bi, I'd probably troll the shit out of her just for shits and giggles and embarrass her. At the dinner table, hey, munched any carpet lately? Just really fuck with her. My dad was a trolling bastard too, but not quite that extreme. But I probably would, because I go balls to the wall and when I troll. So
I just noticed that the picture got a little bit bigger the second time that I clicked it. And hello there, Michaela, the stray cat in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on so that I could finally give you the moderator role that you deserve, being a high dollar patron of the channel, whatnot. But yeah, that's like one of the artworks for my Stargaze project, like I was telling you about. That's not Shyrick, by the way. That's an entirely different character from a different. She joined
it's nicely drawn, so.
Yeah, thanks. There's Kate Prime right there, and some ships that are fighting over her head, and there's Kate 2 there in the distance, the actual megaplex planet, and then she right now is standing on Kate 4. So right now,
yeah. But that's I didn't mean to derail you about the theological journey of my own, but that's where essentially how I came to be.
Oh no, it's fine.
And that's how, and I'm now what you would call a non-denominational Christian agnostic. Which means I believe in it, but still, it's the inconceivability. I can understand why someone doesn't believe.
Okay.
So, but I'm a Christian myself. I just have this weird, esoteric, nuanced take on it.
I gotcha. Sister is a closet case lesbo, and I love messing with her at family gatherings, says Mikhail. I think it doesn't matter if it is a sin or not, as long as they follow Jesus, they'll be fine, says Pixel Shine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because
Ultimately,
yeah.
that's what matters most, and I would at least hope. Like, I guess this is my own cynicism, I guess you could say, towards God coming out, but I would at least hope that it would not. I really do hope that it's not a sin ultimately, because I ultimately think it's not something worth damnation. Just sucking a man off, that being if you're a man, or scissoring off another lady if you're a lady yourself.
Yeah.
But that's, of course, just my opinion. And, of course, another Christian would come on and say that your opinion doesn't really matter towards God. And I know, it's just all the same. But, yeah, so, anyway, have you ever heard of Warhammer 40K, Wes?
Yeah, I've heard about it, and I used to. One of my friends, I've heard from. I need to hit him up, see how he's doing over there in the UK. But Pepsi Man, he used to talk. We used to talk about Warhammer all the time. Mainly he would go on about it, and I would listen, and I would find occasional bits of intrigue because the mythology was pretty interesting. I never got into the games, but the backstory was entertaining enough. I had been tied up with other shit at the time. I'm still writing on my fucking Hoppa for basics. Take care, Mr. Schultz.
Have a good night, Uncle Ben.
So yeah, but I would listen to him talk about it. We'd bullshit in VCs and different servers, and he'd talk about it, and I would be doing my little thing while listening to him.
And hello,
like
welcome to the chat, by the way. Yeah, the Warhammer 40K, I never really played the games or anything like that. I just get more intrigued by just listening to the lore explained, the deep history of the galaxy, and explaining of how life is like within the Imperium and the Tau Empire and all that, all them other factions. Like how the Emperor of Mankind, back during the Horus Heresy, he got so severely injured to where that he's now a cripple on a chair. Just the only duty and ability that he has is to be able to harness enough psychic power to be able to ward off or close the gates against all the gods and evil forces of chaos. I don't know if you got into that part of the Warhammer 40K universe, but the realm...
Not fully, no, not quite that deep, but I will listen to Pepsi and others talk about it, and it was interesting.
Yeah, the realm of chaos. Think of hell, basically, of the Warhammer 40K universe. And there's like 4 different gods, or yeah, I guess you can essentially call them gods. They are chaos gods. 4 different chaos gods that reside within the chaos realm, and all their little minions, and they're always trying to escape the realm of chaos so that they can, like, well, cause chaos and conquer the rest of the universe and the regular, actual world, universe, whatnot. They're always trying to escape out, and that's what the Emperor is just relegated to after he got crippled. Just constantly trying to close the gates and keep them forces of chaos withheld within their chaos realm. I have a lot of friends who play Warhammer 40K, but I'm still a D&D addict, says Mikhail. And JC says, I like 40K, but I only ever play the TTRPGs. I have neither the time nor money for the war game. And Mikhail says D&D is crazy enough for me. Yeah. Imagine a D&D that's set in the Warhammer 40K universe.
No, be a mild autist in a fucking D&D chat with a bunch of other autists. Some more, as mild as you, some more severe. Try that for a while. That's where it tops out. Fuck's sakes. No. Be a group. Here's what's even better. Be a bunch of autists in a group with Warhammer 40K together.
What the fuck? When I fucking sent shit like this, that'll haunt me. I don't quite get it. It just looks like an animated girl playing with a dildo.
Didn't expect you to say anything, but that was Vicky from Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm saying shit like that all the time. I have so many people that apparently my cringe ass streak's infectious, much to my dismay. That's why I said when I'm saying shit like this, that'll haunt me. Baby.
Well, I guess I would not be too surprised. I haven't watched a whole lot of Fairly Odd Parents. Maybe that's the reason why I did not recognize it. But Vicky, from what I've seen, doesn't seem too far away from the type of character who would be a dominatrix slut or whatever.
Just. I remember when I sent you in DMs that night?
Wait, I'm trying to remember.
You probably don't want to remember.
Send me DMs.
Fuck's sakes. You have to be fucking reminded. That's okay. Your brain must have shut it off. All right.
Oh wait, no, you're talking about the Riley stuff, huh?
No, it was Jinping's face.
Oh. Oh.
Now he remembers.
Oh, good lord. Oops.
I caused him to scream, "What the fuck?" I got him good that night. Imagine a cute Asian girl in the schoolgirl cosplay uniform, but with Jinping's face on it. Oh, god damn.
Breathe, Wes, breathe.
Oh shit.
I was needing to itch my eyes anyway.
Like that. So usually I didn't really delve into that until like in the last year or so. Because usually the only thing I had that was cursed was I had the couple of friends that were on Steam, though. You know the ones that have been on Steam since they were like 7 or 8? Steam Network, been in this online and talking with fuckers on Steam since they were like 7 or 8. You know, those kids literally hanging around the anus of the internet.
No, I haven't come across any of those types of kids.
Be glad. Now, don't get me wrong. There's two of them I love the fuck out of to death as people, but holy shit, you don't want to hang around them for like once every month or two, so you don't want to kill yourself from the cringe. No offense to them, but God. But if you were suicidal, you could go to them a little more often and say, well, even though I want to kill myself, I'm not this fucked up, so maybe there's a chance in life.
Mikhail says Vicky is the evil, sadistic wannabe chick from hell, desperately trying to prove something by trampling over those powerless to stop her shit. In other words, AOC. AOC is the real life Vicky, everybody. Mikhail
Except dumber. Except retarded. But she's got a case of the...
A case of the what? Okay.
chest beating.
Oh. I gotcha. Just want to see something. That's what I'm doing. Oh, never mind. It's not there.
I gotta check.
But the reason why I had mentioned Warhammer a little bit earlier was because of the fact that I get a little bit of inspiration for my comic idea from Warhammer a little bit. Although Warhammer is just a tad too depressing for my taste, so I don't take too much inspiration from them. But the something like the deep history, like the historical periods, I kind of done something like that. Like in Warhammer, there's like the ancient history, then there's the technological golden age, and then the years of strife that happens within Warhammer 40k, and then all the periods after that when humanity rises again out of the ashes and the Emperor takes command of the entirety of humanity. Kind of like in the same way in the Stargaze universe, there's like a period of where that there is creation, like the Centennials. Okay, the creators of the universe are called the Centennials. They're more like angelic demigods with some power to create, but not the full power to create and whatnot. And they're not invincible. They're near invincible, but they are still ultimately killable. And they're the ones that set the universe basically in motion. And one of them, Rhinarius, who's like one of the great Centennials, he created a species called the Rhinar, basically naming them after him because he's that narcissistic. And the Rhinar are like the Foreigners from Halo, right?
Yeah, Forerunner types. Yes.
How much do you know of Halo? Yeah, the Rhinar are basically the kind of like this universe's version of Forerunners.
Yeah.
And
the Forerunners
they
were
have the ability.
the creators. They were basically the original creators of humanity. Like they guided the evolution of humanity and affected them with their genetics and everything else. They were not the humans. Were the pinnacle, and Master Chief was the heir of the fucking. John 117. And John was the heir of the Forerunners and their ways and everything. I forgot what the fucking girl's name was.
I didn't catch
what
that.
was it? The librarian, I think.
I don't know. But
anyway, yeah, she was.
The Rhinar were like the dominant species of the entire galaxy for the longest time, under the character Rhinon, who I had mentioned a little bit earlier, or a lot earlier, rather. That character that I made for other comic projects, I took him and put him in the property of Stargaze, except he's eventually becomes the devil of this universe, and he rules over the Rhinar for the longest time, leads them to a sort of a golden age of how dominant they are and how powerful they are, and technologically advanced they are as well. He even shares some of his own kind of magical power. Like Rhinon is the son of Rhinarius, so he himself is kind of a demigod himself. Like he's half Rhinar, and Rhinon is half Rhinar and half Centennial, the son of Rhinarius.
Right.
And he gets kind of left abandoned by his cruel mother and his almost careless dad, to the point of where that fucks him up in the head, and he sees all the chaos that is going on with the Reinar, like Vioris is the name of Rhinon's mother, actually. Vioris was for the longest time the leader of the Reinar herself, and she abandoned Rhinon, put him in a secret lab away from almost all public eye because she knew that the other priests would expel her from power if they found out that she ended up actually fucking who they worship to be their own god. Rhinarius, that is. So she was trying to hide that and at the same time doing experiments on her own son in order to create a sort of a dominant titanic centennial killing species called the Ogladoth. You know the Titans from Greek mythology? The Ogladoth is kind of no. They're not based off the Titans. They're based off of the Kraken, actually, from Greek mythology. The Kraken was the one species or the one creature that's able to kill Titans. And by extension of that, the Ogladoth are the one species that can kill the Centennials, the godlike creatures of the Stargaze universe.
Yeah.
I'm
playing Brutal Doom 64 as well at the moment. So.
Okay.
I'm listening.
I gotcha.
I'm getting fireballed. Fuck. I'm playing the ultra setting of Brutal Doom 64. It's a modern edition of Doom. Doom 64. They actually bring back the Spider Mastermind and the Revenant. They actually make it like where it would seem like it would fit the original Doom 64 game. Like Sergeant Mark Webber fucking did this well. Him and his
You're really breaking up badly.
Sorry, I was see if my connection fixed itself. Yeah.
Warhammer has nothing on the warped world of Ravenloft. Well, send me some videos that go talking about the lore of Ravenloft in the Discord, Mikhail, whenever you care to. But yeah, so while Rhinon is being experimented in Vioris's labs, his own mother's labs, like she creates the Ogladoth from another species called the Ogla, just simply the Ogla, and takes the DNA of those creatures and the DNA of her own son, Rhinon, merges them into one and creates all the Ogladoth, the Centennial Destroyers. And she just keeps those kind of in reserve to sort of give herself the ability to kill off whatever Centennial that she feels is kind of getting in the way, including her own lover, her own husband, if at all possible. And in all eventuality, she finds out that Rhinon cheated on her with another woman. And so she becomes so mad with jealousy and whatnot that she just releases the Ogladoth on primarily Rhinarius to try and kill him. But she ultimately releases them on the entire universe, and the Ogladoth go wreaking havoc, not just on the Centennials, but all life itself. So you got these mad, massive, space-dwelling type animals, because the Ogladoth, they do not just reside on mere planets. They're able to sustain themselves within space, like essentially breathe in space. I'd have to think through the biology of the Ogladoth a little bit more, but essentially they can breathe in space kind of the same way that Superman can. So you got this whole entire species of space krakens, giant space krakens destroying the and all of civilization. It's where that Rhinarius, he becomes so desperate that he has to call the rest of his Centennial brethren in order to stop them. And there's an entire big war between Centennial and Ogladoth. And in all eventuality, Rhinon, he witnesses all the chaos happening as he's just being entrapped inside that lab, and he masters his own power to where that he can even manipulate the Ogladoth himself. Since the Ogladoth are of his own DNA, he it's a little bit easier for him to actually learn that ability. He cannot really so much as control them like mind control or anything like that, but he's able to freeze them. I would have to think a little bit more through the lore, but basically, in all eventuality, after so many Centennials and die and so forth, and so many Olgodoth for that matter, he freezes the remaining Olgodoth. So he like calls himself the savior of all the Rhinar species, and from there he
Oh fuck
exposes
me! I'm about to get eaten by a fucking hellhound. Fuck!
Vids I don't have. Vids I don't have, but books I can do, says Mikhail. Well, maybe I'll search them up on YouTube myself. But then Rhinon, he exposes his own mother for being a heathen or a heretic, rather, for fucking a god, basically, and also being so corrupt with power. And she becomes so mad that she tries to kill her own son. But joke's on her, he kills him. He kills her instead. And from his charisma and from ultimately saving his own species, he proclaims power supreme as being supreme leader of the entire Rhinar species. And he's the top dog, the top leader of the most dominant species in the entire galaxy, and brings them into a new golden age of technology and power, and shares even some of his own Centennial-esque power with some of them, to a lesser extent, but all the same. Yeah, but then in all eventuality, there's the Knights of Ryo. Ryo is actually the son of the other woman that Rhinarius makes out with. And Ryo finds himself the Knights of Ryo, and in all eventuality, the Knights of Ryo, they defeat Rhinon. They don't kill him, but they basically imprison him for the next thousands of years. And because of Rhinon... right before he gets imprisoned, he becomes so desperate to try to defeat the Knights of Ryo, the Knights of Ryo, that he sucks out all the power that he had given to all the rest of the Rhinar in a desperate last-ditch attempt to try and defeat the Knights of Ryo. Some of the Knights of Ryo, they have some Centennial power within themselves. And so he becomes so overwhelmed that Rhinon does, to where that he just sucks back up the power that he let the rest of his own species borrow for a while. But before he could, the Knights of Ryo, they imprison him ultimately for the next thousands of years. And since the Rhinar are basically extinct, and with Rhinon gone, the entire universe plummets into a 1,000-year period of dark age. Well, actually, many thousands of year dark age. Same kind of way that Warhammer 40k falls into a thousands of years dark age. No space travel, hardly ever at all done, until it eventually gets found again. And sort of fasting forward to the present day that my comic project actually takes place in. I actually have a full-on script idea for the more concisely explaining the in-depth lore of my comic project, but it would be a whole lot more wordy than how I put it right there. And the way that I put it was pretty wordy, if even comprehensible to anybody, because I get kind of rambly.
Yeah.
But were you able to follow along at all, Wes?
Yeah, I'm getting it. I just died once already in this map. I'm in map 18, Spawn Fear, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get to the secret exit. It's in, so I can get to the the final secret map final secret map for the main gameplay, called Into the Void. There's some bonus maps in it, but they don't really.
All right.
They don't really mean they're not really. I mean, I don't know how to access them in Brutal Doom, so Brutalized Doom 64. So
the little idea that you've had for your project. The main character is Derpy Redneck, or he at least goes by the nickname of Derpy Redneck.
Two of them. There's Count West, and then there's another counterpart from a much younger counterpart by many thousand years. And he calls himself Derpy Redneck.
Okay. I got some videos pulled up of Ravenloft, by the way, Mikhail. Maybe I'll listen to them a little bit later. But Derpy Redneck, he is raised in a way, or was it that
he doesn't have the as much of the hardships that Count West endured.
Okay.
And
Is it
Count West saw that by design?
Was it Count West, or was it Derpy Redneck that learned to become racist towards different?
It was Derpy, because he almost became that. He almost went down that route. Because of what happened to when World War III happened in his world, because it was a Middle Easterner that shot and killed his wife. He raped and murdered her. Yeah.
And so he learns to. I'm sorry. What race is the murderer again?
He was a Middle Easterner.
Okay, so Derpy Redneck becomes racist towards Arabs, and he learns to hate them for the longest time, and he gets involved and delved into World War III, and then sometime later after that, he learns to get out of his racist stage.
Or yeah, essentially. Or he becomes dangerously close to it. Is what I'm saying. Like, he starts entertaining the thoughts, but he doesn't fully give into it. He finally is able to move forward and become reasonable again, where he won't be able to entertain those thoughts anymore. And that was the next stage in his ascension. He couldn't have that.
Okay. I think I might address a little bit more of the chat here, and then maybe end this stream here soon, because we're getting like at 3.25 hours right now, and
yeah,
we're kind of dying down on the conversation.
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of philosophical and shit, and actual different kind of debate subjects. Like, there's political elements all across the board. I basically. World War III starts out kind of like how what we're doing right now in political atmosphere, and there are certain governments that are implicated in on it, and they have all, and there's a lot of religious institutes that are going to be questioned, but does that necessarily mean that I died again? But does that mean that their teachings as a whole are invalidated, or is it just that institutions' morals corrupted it?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of shit like that as well.
So Pixel Shine goes asking in the chat, what is your stance on illegal immigration? Most libertarians think that illegal immigrants should not be deported because of the non-aggression principle, but most conservatives think illegal immigrants should be deported. I would have to think a little bit more of that. I guess you can say that I'm a little bit more of the Milton Friedman school of thought when it comes to immigration, like open borders after abolishing the welfare state. But since that's not likely going to happen anytime in the near future, I say that for the most part, the more violent, or I don't know, just in general, I say deportation for illegal immigrants off of that basis.
I'm a mix of Milton Friedman and Hans Hermann Hoppe's trains of thought on borders. And what do I mean? I think getting rid of the welfare state, or at least cutting it down by 3/4, at least by 3/4, and then having a strong vetting system at the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm gonna give any fucking degree of lenience to it, and have a strong vetting process that will keep them from being able to get on it if they illegally immigrate over here, that will disincentivize them. And then privatize. And even in an ANCAP scenario, you can have contractual based communities that you could get together on with people that have the same values, but want to keep those that would fuck up, that would be the chaos agents to what they want, like this goes all over the place. You can keep them out, and you would have completely private borders based around private property, and you can have an invite-based immigration policy that way, like in a vetting process. So it would be invitation. No one's really. And it would be like I guess you could say, like, normie compatible take on the border thing, I guess.
All right.
I think it would be better that way. You wouldn't have to be deported, but you also wouldn't be coming in either. I mean, you would have to be invited and go through a vetting process.
So Mikhail the Stray Cat says, kind of as an explanation of what the Ravenloft universe is, imagine Pandora and Dracula had a baby, and also a mummy, a werewolf, and a sultan also had babies. And each of those babies ruled their own country, throw in dimension traveling gypsies. Interesting. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons lore, Ravenloft, by AJ Pickett. All right. I might look into one or two of these videos while playing some Overwatch here after ending this live stream. Pixel Shine asks, since conservatarianism is a mix of libertarianism and conservatism, I thought that would be a good question. Oh, no, he's stating about his immigration question. Sorry for being late to the party, says Mikhail. No, it's completely fine, Mikhail. I did not get as many people or the right type of people to show up as I wanted to. Not that none of y'all are bad company, just I was kind of hoping that some of the people that I was longer time associated with on YouTube would have shown up, like Loudmouth and AJ and Aspie perhaps, but oh well. What can I say? It's a new game of YouTube politics and political YouTube channeling or whatever for me nowadays as compared to 2017.
Pixel Shine asked, what's your stance on the Libertarian Party?
Right. I was about to get to that, but I guess to skip down to that question, what is your stance on the Libertarian Party? I think that they're overall better than the Republicans and Democrats, and really. If Joe Jorgensen stood a relatively similar chance of winning the presidency, I probably would have voted for her instead of Trump this last go around. But because of the fact that the combining factors that I did not agree with her enough on politics, and I knew that she did not stand a rat's ass chance of winning, I just went ahead and vote for Trump. Although I guess it wouldn't have mattered anyways because I live here in red Kansas, solid red Kansas, but all the same.
That, and you'd have probably got outnumbered by dead people rising out of the graveyards voting too.
Most conservative verified news says up a little bit earlier. Most conservatives are downright statists. You're not wrong, verified news. Ban the gays and keep the drug war going. And whatnot. Conservatives spend trillions on drug war, spend trillions on police state. Yep, indeed. Dems are worse, but Republicans do nothing to curb Democrats. Yeah, pretty much. One could almost make a point that Republicans, or at least presidents anyways, are worse spenders than Democrats when it comes to spending, but I don't know. At this current point in time, Democrats' proposals are more expensive than Republicans' proposals. Their ideal proposals, anyways. Like you compare Trump's border wall to AOC's Green New Deal or Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All, for example.
God, I think Crowton T did the best rebuttal, rebuttal to the rhetoric behind the progressivists, championing the healthcare for all. And he talks about it, but it was with a little over 10 minutes. He goes about, okay, what this is something these guys are none of you talking about over there in America. Look at these systems over in these countries that attempted that. Look what Tony Blair did with Britain and tried to make it half-assed like it was private, and it made the problems that that with the NHS that much more pronounced and amplified. And you thought Blair was a cunt. Watch this. And then he looked at and he showed other countries and what they did there and how they actually paid for that. If you were to even entertain it, I guarantee you, if you taxed food intake of, say, if you did a tax on like seed oils and sugar in food items, like I got a graph on like all of the different plant like seed oils that we're using in our fucking food supply. I fucking almost had a Lewis Black themed aneurysm at one of them, and I saw cottonseed oil. This cottonseed oil was in we have that in our sardines. They put that shit in our oysters and canned oysters. I'm like, what the fuck's it doing there? Here's a fucked up fat. Cottonseed oil is able to be used to to amplify the power of different pesticide poisons. Again, why is it in a fucking food chain? Take that shit, press it out. Take that shit, press it out of the cottonseed, throw that cottonseed out. That leftover pressed meal out in the field. Do not feed it to an animal to fuck up the meat. I got a whole story about that in itself. And then use that cottonseed oil as biodiesel and leave it the fuck out of our food supply. That'll bring biodiesel and diesel fueling costs down more instead of putting that shit in our food supply. And all the fucking oil should be done the same way. That's not food.
Pixel Shine.
Sorry, go ahead.
Pixel Shine also says in the chat, I hope you reach 1K subs. Yeah, I hope so too. Like, my goal on this channel is not really to become a big time YouTuber. Like, I don't look to reach tens of thousands, let alone hundreds of thousands of subscribers channel. I don't think that I have enough of the ambitions or mental faculties really to be doing something that consistent. If I had a channel that big, obviously I would have the income to be able to do this sort of thing full time. But if I got to at least somewhere safely within the margin of between 1,000 and 1,100 subs, I would at least be able to accept super chats on my in my live chats for my live streams and whatnot. And I would have this channel as both a hobby and a side income on top of working my current full-time job. And that's what I hope sometime in the near future to be doing. Making money.
That'd be the best way to be at it, to be honest.
Right now I have patrons, Mikhail, the Stray Cat, Cat Chat, and the Conundrum. But it would still be cool to get super chats, you know. Open borders is fine if the welfare state is abolished. Would be fine, in my opinion, says McGill. Right? What is your stance on the Libertarian Party? Already addressed that. Verified News says, when have the Republicans ever repealed any Democrat statute when the Republicans had a supermajority? The individual mandate, that's probably the only thing that I can think of. But even that was kind of meager in the grand scheme of Obamacare. Never, not once, never, I meant. It's all a dog and pony show. The two parties are actually one. Republicans are there to complain and make you think someone is on your side, but they're not. Yeah, not really. Republicans are a very marginal slowdown to the Democrats, at least, generally speaking. Anyways,
one's a brake pedal. One wants to put the balls to the wall.
Right. The only person I can think of possibly doing a real turnaround for the country in modern day is if Rand Paul kept and stayed very strong to his principles, and he led a new movement within the Republican Party by running for president and winning the nomination for the Republican nomination in 2024. You know, that's.
I think a lot of the election stuff's going to have to be fucking fixed on a foundational level. and some other stuff's going to have to be done, because if they don't, there's going to be there. I think the other party's going to RIG, double down on the RIGGING.
It's trying
Because
to make
that's where we're headed. Because we're going to have a back and forth voter RIGGING back and forth, and both parties are going to be doubling down. Like no tomorrow, and this is going to lead to a BOOG of sorts, and that's not what the BOOG tards are going to fucking want. But then again, there's a lack of nuance and understanding about how fucking war works, and it ain't what they want. It'll lead to a power shift. So either we're going to have to fix that and push for the convention of states and make grassroots movements to spread liberty back around through culture and whatnot, and even get media influence, indie media influence through it, and approach it that way. And then counter subvert what's been established for decades, because the Chi-Coms, the USSR, and some of the Zionist types that did in our media that did this subversive shit over the years, and that's what we're gonna have. That's what we have to do. That's really the strategy we're gonna have, and got to start now. It's either now or never. And if you can't fix the federal government, we should at least have a mutually agreeable divorce from the federal government if we can't fix it.
Yeah, secession and all. And you mentioned Convention of States. Like, I've got an increasingly more and more disapproving opinion of Mark Levin, but I still agree at least with his idea on that front when it comes to Convention of States and whatnot.
Yeah. I'm not a neocon fan at all. I can't. I hate neoconservatism, especially after I found about the origins of the actual movement itself. It's basically a bunch of Trotskyites. James Burnham was the last true conservatarian intellectual. Like, he was conservative libertarian intellectual. He abandoned Trotsky and embraced that. And his biggest book was The Managerial Revolution. It basically shows how, not only expands on what the book Modern Corporation and Private Property wrote down about how corporate law works. Corporations are an entity created by governments, and then they lead to expansion of power, feedback loop through the state and whatnot. And it's a socialistic subversion of the means of production and private property. Very socialist trend there. Explains that the basics of corporate law. You can read the two books together, but the Managerial Revolution talks about how the managerial class forms after this, when corporate agents bridge with politicians, and it just goes into what we have now. Now, if you read, and essentially James Burnham called the Managerial Revolution, and that is huge. He was big. He basically championed, conserving the family, being voluntary, conserving ways of life, but also about liberty. But essentially, a bunch of Trotskyites and neo-Trotskyites started abandoning a lot of his doctrine, except for one, which you see this in neocon policy, policing the world. That comes straight out of Trotsky and straight out of Jacobin. You see this in the warmonger policies of all the neocons. The supporting for Israel and warring with the Middle East. Sticks, X, and Hammer actually did a great video on it. Why he deleted it, I don't know. I think it was a fucktard move on his part. Then again, he tends to be hit and miss. Yeah. I don't hate, I now have a couple of his books, actually. Really good reads, but
Sticks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has a decent understanding of cult literature as well.
All right. If the worst, Mikhail also says, if the welfare state is to be maintained, then immigration must be limited. You can't have unlimited immigration, as well as a welfare state that caters to anyone and everyone at taxpayer expense. I would say that for right now, I overall agree with that, but I think that there's a little bit of a wider conversation on what could possibly be done about immigration, even with the existence of a restricted welfare state.
Yeah, I agree. I think one possible solution is, I guess, I'm just going to quote myself on this. Give me a second. I got to dig it up. But like I said, Mikhail and I are we're Hoppians. We're fans of Hans Hermann Hoppe's work.
By the way, very quickly, verified news in the chat. Scrap the drug war and pass Medicare for all. I cannot disagree anymore enough on that second part, but definitely the first part I agree with. And also, bit of clarification, verified news. What would you call yourself politically? Because when you subscribed to me, I thought you were like a sort of a normie conservative, but I'm getting almost more Bernie bro-ish sort of vibes here. What would you call yourself politically, verified news, if you're still in the chat? You're saying, Wes?
As you've seen on my channel banner, intro, or the what I'm about, I think you've seen it, where I call myself a paleo-conservatarian.
Maybe I would have to go back and look again.
Let me see. Let me see about my. I gotta take the quote up. Here we go. Where is it at? About borders. Oh, here it is.
Kansas wants their music back, by the way.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Carry on my wayward son. Anyway, I got a new intro. I'm going to be using it. A more condensed, shorter intro. And yeah, I'm going to be using it. I'm going to give him a shout out. I'm going to add a clip where I'm shouting that guy out for making it for me, and check his channel out. But anyways, imagine, I guess a half-assed Hoppian take on solving the border problem is to surrender the government borders to mostly surrender it to private property rights and use all the above, like PMCs, Fed military, private security cops, sheriffs, state police, state troopers, National Guard, Fed police, and y'all, to defend those private property linkage-derived borders.
You keep on breaking in and out, by the way.
Based on invitation. I'm sorry, let me. Sleep. Oh, shit. Panthers like 40-something pounds sleep. Fuck. I was saying, I guess my take on the borders would be if you like I said, the Hoppian part of my
Oh geez. He buffered out of the call, y'all. I don't know. I'm gonna give him a bit of time to come back in. Addressing the chat a little bit more until he comes back. A verified news also said a little bit earlier. By the way, I've subbed to you for a while, but never commented before. Actually, I seen you comment in my live chats at least on 2 of my live streams. I think 1 at least, but I'm pretty sure that it's 2. Hit F, everyone. Yeah, F for respect for West Savage's poor internet connection. Connection took a massive jack off. He tells me on Discord. Petty. Yep. Everybody hit F in the chat for Derpy Redneck. I think verified news is a left libertarian, says Pixel Shine. And it seems that verified news might have left the live chat entirely, no longer watching, but it's okay either way, I guess. You say you are pro-life. May I ask why you're pro-life? Asks Pixel Shine. Sure, of course. I'm pro-life simply because I recognize that unborn babies are in fact individual human beings, and I don't think that a woman's bodily autonomy. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough. I do believe in bodily autonomy, everybody. I just saying that right now because I've been strawmanned that before. Like, I don't suspect that any of you are going to strawman me in any sort of way on that front, but I have been told before you're anti-bodily autonomy by pro-choicers within the abortion debate, and they constantly insist on that straw man. I'm thinking to myself, no, I'm for bodily autonomy. I just don't think that the woman's bodily autonomy should outright trounce the unborn baby's right to life. And basically, that's what I think on the point of abortion. Michaela Stray Cat says, I am pro-life because it has been scientifically proven that an unborn baby is in fact a baby and thus is a human being. Indeed. I would not just say human being, Michaela. I would go so far to say a human person or a person in general. Excuse me. Adding on to that question, were you ever pro-choice once in your life? Asks Pixel Shine as well. No, I was never pro-choice. The very first moment that I got introduced to abortion, I immediately became pro-life. It's just that over the years, I've more refined my abortion beliefs and got increasingly nuanced with it. That's the only thing that's really changed. Michaela Stray Cat says, I was until I learned that an unborn child is in fact a human being. Yup. And it looks like I'm all caught up in the chat. There's no more live chat comments, and Wes looks like he's not returning back, and I am getting increasingly tired, y'all. See if he responds to my most recent message I sent him on Discord, asking if he's unable to join back. If he doesn't respond, or if he says that he is unable to join back, I might just end the call right here. But if he does say that he is able to join back, I'm going to give a few more minutes for him to return back and finish whatever point that he was about to make there. And then I'll end it. Otherwise, I guess to sort of just ramble to the chat here for a little bit. It was a bit of a frustrating and stressful day at work earlier today. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there was a few good highlights of today, but for a Friday, it was kind of bad. If today was a Monday, it would not be so bad for a Monday workday. But no, it's a Friday, and so and so it's kind of crappy for a Friday as far as work days go. I gotta go. This has been great, says Mikhail. Thanks for tuning in, Mikhail. And Pixel Shine asks, are you a member of the GOP? If you mean, am I a registered Republican? Yes, I am registered as a Republican on my voter registration. But if you mean like a party member, like participate in the party politics, no, I don't do that. So much of that stuff. But yeah. Yeah, today was a little bit ridiculous. Like, the morning started off kind of grumpy with some coworkers, or the other coworkers more in particular were kind of grumpy. I wasn't so much grumpy. I had just got off of the gym this morning. I got a good leg day in. Did some leg presses, some calf raises, some leg curls, and then I went up the gym escalator for about 5 minutes, and then I started to feel it in my legs in all eventuality. But then as soon as I got to work, like got finished with my breakfast and clocked in for work. A couple of my coworkers are kind of a little bit more grumpy. Not so much looking forward to the work day, and so it's kind of affecting my mood at the same time. And then as the day later played on, there was some like fun conversations, I guess you can say, with other coworkers and whatnot, to where that it kind of brought up my mood a bit. Like one of our sister shops under my company, under the company I work for anyways, I was able to interact very fun and amusingly enough with some of the coworkers from that one sister shop. It's just that the people over at my shop were in kind of down moods. One of them in particular, one of the good conversations was a girl that I am somewhat infatuated with. And I almost get the implications that she is somewhat infatuated with me. Just a little. At least I get kind of the chemistry that maybe that there is something there. But unfortunately, there is one little thing about the girl that kind of is preventing me from just going on the full distance and just like considering her a dating partner, considering her a girlfriend. First ever girlfriend of my life. Which I will not go into detail as to what that little factor is, but let me just say, if that factor wasn't a thing, I probably would go just full on and date the one girl that I am sort of referencing to. And for anyone who's curious, yes, she is a black girl. Very athletic built black girl too. She's a nice girl. Pretty cute in the face. So are you more conservative or more libertarian, asks Pixel Shine. I'd probably say that I'm more libertarian than conservative. I have a lot of conservative sympathies and empathies and whatnot, but overall my belief leans more libertarian than conservative. But if we're going by traditional thought processes, then abortion, I would say I'm more conservative than libertarian on, because the libertarian position on abortion is that I don't like abortion. I really don't, but at the same time, I think it's the mother's decision all the way to abort. Or at least that's within traditional thoughts of libertarianism. Even though that's the traditional thought of libertarianism, and because that's the more traditional thought of libertarianism, I therefore, by the more traditional thought, consider myself conservative on abortion. But even though that's a more libertarian thought on abortion, that I still do believe that there is a libertarian argument to be made against abortion. Go watch my 2 cents videos on abortion to see what I mean on that front. But anyway, it's kind of looking like that Wes isn't able to join back on this call, unfortunately. Yeah, his internet might have completely crapped out to where that he is completely unable to join back, at least on his computer. And he was only just lucky enough to tell me on Discord that, the connection took a massive jack off, quote unquote. Anyway, I think that's about it. Thank you all for joining this live stream. It's been fun chatting with you all and whatnot. And have a good and safe weekend. Have a good night. And here's to bye. Congrats on 700 subs. Thanks, Pixel Shine. And yeah. Here's to the next milestone. Here's to 1,000 subscribers, y'all. God bless you all.